Hello, everyone. Welcome to the vPub. Welcome to Thursday night. There wasn't an intro there. I was fiddling about. Had some wee last-minute tech issues to sort out, but it's fine. It's wonderful to welcome you all. It's wonderful just to kind of jump in and get things started. Tonight is a gamified session. We tried this a few weeks back, and it seemed to work quite well. But I had an idea who I'd like to participate in another version of this, and how we'd tweak it ever so slightly. And that's what we're going to try tonight. The folk that's joining me tonight, it's something I was really excited that we managed to find a date in the calendar where all four of us could make it. It's been so long since the four of us have actually been on camera together. Usually it's hard to get four people together, of course, but there's always kind of one that doesn't quite make it. But tonight, it looked like we were almost there, where the four of us was going to make it at the same time. But we're not there yet. We might get there yet. In the green room behind the scenes, two out of three are there, so that's 3 out of 4 of us are here. Hopefully the fourth will turn up a wee bit later and the full set will be here to participate fully. This is a good idea, I hope. Why is it a good idea? What we're going to do tonight is sit down and proffer. Nobody knows what each other is going to nominate. I know what everybody, I've had to collate everything and make sure there are no duplicates and things like that, but I suffer a disadvantage through knowing in advance. I'll tell you about that in a second. But everybody's been given 5 categories of things to select, things that I think are important for us in the community. You know, they're not necessarily suited for everyone out there, but we've got the Permashelf, we've got the crowd pleaser, we've got the self-indulgent Decadent Pour, we've got the VIP Pour, and we've got the attention grabber. These are the 5 categories that's kind of been around the vPub for quite a wee while. The 5 categories that I use for when I do the industry drinks, for example. And it's just kind of nice, open, and you know, people are going to interpret it differently, but they're nice open categories in order for us to put forward something that we are passionate about, that we love, that we can talk passionately about, and put it forward as our offering. For each of those 5 categories, what we're going to do live in real time. So if you're watching this, participating live with us tonight, you will be able to participate in this. If you go into YouTube, on the YouTube chat, pull up the live chat. During once everybody's announced what their whiskies are, we're putting up a poll and everybody will vote live. That's going to decide the winner, second place, third place, and fourth, of course. Points will be allocated, and then at the end of the night, after we've been through our 5 categories, we'll have a winner, hopefully. But I think the real winner in all of this will hopefully be people participating and playing along. Maybe people picking it up on the replay. Why? Well, you've got 5 idiotic, maniacal whiskey nuts that really love their whiskey, putting forward 5 unique examples for each of those categories. Sorry, 4 whiskey nuts, 5 categories. So that's 20 bottles in a vPub session that's hopefully going to be something that you can think about. Now, some of these bottles might be a wee bit obscure and indie. There's nothing discounted here. It's open to anyone's interpretation. But hopefully, every single pick will be an inspiration or something that will stimulate somebody to take a step towards a wee bit more whiskey exploration. There's nothing to be sold here. There's no ulterior motives or hidden agendas. Everything is just about whiskey that we truly love for those 5 categories. Anyway, Scotty is here. Sevi is here, and Gregor, who's a full 8 hours behind us, remember, he's still trying to finish up his working day. He's on the west coast of the US, and he's going to hopefully join us and drop in a wee bit later. We just need to pad things out until he gets here, I think. Anyway, it's wonderful to welcome you all. Of course, I need to share the sad news that it is the last vPub before the summer break. It's a wee bit of a shame. I look forward to the summer break. I look forward to going on holiday. Of course I do. But it's inevitable, especially when I hit a Thursday night. What am I doing? I should be alive. I should be hanging out with the whiskey folk, you know. But it is healthy. It's a good idea to take a break from broadcasting, a break from this, a break from all of it. But also take the foot off a wee bit when it comes to whiskey and consumption. And I think it's nice for us all to find things that work for us as individuals. Anyway, this will be my last vPub tonight, the 11th of July. I'm back on the 22nd of August. Right now, it's looking like I'll be back with a Ralphie session, and you all know what that'll be for. That'll be Ralphie and I getting together to talk about something that inspires us, but of course, to launch the 2024 Online Scotch Whisky Awards. That's the 22nd of August. Look forward to that. But over the summer, I'm going to try my very, very best to have you, at least with some of those weeks, parked with something that you can do. Next week, Jeff Whiskey, he'll bring a pop-up vPub next week. If you want to know more details on that, you need to subscribe to the Jeff Whiskey channel. If there's any of my moderators out there that want to drop a link into the chat, that would be very welcomed right now. And you'll be able to hang out there and use it as a pop-up session on a Thursday night. I think it's going to be the same time slot. More details will follow from Jeff. That's next week, which is obviously the 18th of July. Then on the 15th of August, which is the week before I return, so we're shrinking that window right down, Vin has stepped forward to do a pop-up vPub, as we like to call it. And he'll welcome everybody the week before I come back. So that'll be on the 15th of August. Then, hopefully, if things work well, I'll be able to share a recycled review with you. And what I'll maybe do is wait till I'm back from holiday to do it. And the reason for that is that if I launch it as a premiere at the usual vPub slot time, I may be able to jump into the live chat and kind of hang out with you and participate with you. So that's the plan for the days ahead. And for the weeks ahead. Sugar Kitty has put a wee link in here for Jeff Whiskey. So you can go along and give his channel a subscribe. And if you click the bell icon on YouTube, it'll send you a reminder when he goes live next week. But it's hopefully going to be at the vPub time slot. Exact same for the Vin at No Nonsense Whiskey. Go along and give his channel a subscribe as well and hit the bell icon. And you'll get a notification for the 15th of August as well. Anyway, I hope everyone's doing very, very well. Welcome. It'll be nice to hang out with you for a wee bit of fun this evening. I've not had to buy any bottles for tonight's session. I'm using whiskey that I've got on hand. And I've not had to do much prep because tonight, my pal Menno will be joining us for the quiz at the end. I actually realise now that I may not have sent him the link yet. I better get the link across to Menno so that he can join us. I've actually got a reminder from him. So I will be participating. The gamification continues throughout the night. I'll be participating and I'll be trying hard to try and get my first ever 10 out of 10 on a quiz at the end. It's not happened yet, not in 7 years, but I'll give it another bash tonight. It's not necessary as long as we have a bit of fun with it, right? Anyway, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to jump in and hang out with you, beautiful whiskey folk and dedicated barflies, before we get things kicked off. A lot of things happening in the chat here. My goodness, Trevor R has joined the Aquavitae barflies. Trevor, thank you for being part of the crowd that keeps all of the YouTube content, all of the vPubs, and all of the Aquavitae content absolutely ad-free. That's what the barflies do for me. Thank you so, so much, Trevor. It's wonderful to have you, buddy. Dave Evans is celebrating being a member of the Barflies for 51 months. Have a great summer, everyone. David, it's nice to have you here, buddy, and thank you for your support over the years. Cheers to you. And a big, generous dram coming from Alan Smith as well. Missed the lock-in vPub live on Sunday, Roy. You have been in my thoughts this week, my friend. Here is a round of drinks on your holiday. Alan Smith, you superstar. Thank you for your generosity and thank you for your kind thoughts as well. Cheers to you, Alan. Cheers. My pal James from the US, James DeJulio, is celebrating being a member of the Barflies for 17 months. Really, 29 Google months. Oh, wow, 17 months. Really 29. That's because I think he had a wee break. But he gets to go through the colour of the Barflies all over again, and he's currently sitting on a gold Barfly. Good for you, James. Thank you for your support, buddy. Peter Box is celebrating being a member for 43 months, saying time flies when you're having fun. Absolutely, Peter. Wonderful to have you in, my friend. My pal from Northern Ireland, Jim Whiskey Novice, celebrating being a member for 52 months. Here's to you all. He's saying Slancha. Jim, you joined us for this, a very similar session to this a few weeks back, and a great fun it was. Wonderful to have you with us tonight. James has bought me a dram as well, saying ice cream on the beach. Let's go with something cold, but maybe a bit fizzier than ice cream, if that's okay, James. But I'll maybe use your wee dram that you've purchased for me to buy ice creams for the kids. James, thank you very much, buddy. Thanks for your generosity. Cheers. Going to need to top up this glass. I didn't pour enough of it. Tom Franey, celebrating being a member for 12 months, saying here's to us in the UK getting a summer. Tom, it's not happened yet, fella, has it? Even the dry days have been exceptionally cold. There's been a lot of wind around, storms and things on the west coast of Scotland. yeah, I hope that we do get something of a summer for everyone that's here. Des is celebrating being a member for 50 months, saying enjoy your break, Roy, well deserved. Thank you, Des, thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it. Michael Heslin for 31 months, saying not live in a long time, never miss on replay. Michael, thank you so much to everyone that's here live participating. It's wonderful to have you all. But those of you that do pick it up on the replay, it really means a lot to me. It's fantastic. Thank you. Let's see how we're doing. Who's sitting in the lounge tonight? Trying to get our attention tonight. Just type Aquaviti and I'll do my very best. At Aquaviti or just Aquaviti, and it lights up orange, and that's what I'm looking for in the chat. Whiskey 101. Nick from Belgium is saying, evening, Roy. I hope you will have a fab holiday. Thank you, Nick. Me too. Keith McDonald saying, hello, Barflies. Any plans for a Bottlechasers Infinity bottle? Could be a fun project. Well, Keith, we do kick around wee daft ideas from time to time, and maybe just one of these days, one of them will stick. You never know. How do you manage to get 5 whiskies then, Aquaviti? Did you manage to get 5 whiskies you're talking about? Do you mean for picking tonight? I found it easier. I think I cared a wee bit less tonight. But hopefully all of the selections that you see tonight, Menno, you'll see that there's a lot of personality in them, and they're very appropriate, I think, to the people who have picked them. And I think there's something in it for everyone too. Rooting for you, Roy, says Menno. Thank you very much, buddy. Wonderful to have you in, and we'll see you in a wee bit. Hosting because at the end. Ryan Sutherland, good to see you, Ryan. He's saying evening, Roy. Looking forward to this one. Me too, Ryan. It should be hopefully a wee bit of fun. It'll be certainly more fun when we have the full 4 Bottlechasers in at the same time. But maybe be a wee bit later before Gregor joins us. But we'll make it work. That's okay. Good to have you in, Ryan. I hope things are going well up at 8 Doors. Don Miguel is here saying, I hope you give Spanish whiskey a chance in a few weeks. Some exciting new craft distilleries are emerging. Enjoy your way. Deserved holidays. Don, I'm not only going to do it, I'll actively seek it. The trouble I tend to have with the Spanish whiskies is the retailing of it. Our holiday isn't really near any of the kind of big cities with a decent store, but I will seek it out. There are more and more appearing all the time. Good to have you in, buddy. Good to have you. Jeff Whiskey saying good evening, and Aquavita, you wonderful whiskey folk. Fantastic, Jeff. Put a wee shout out for you for your session next week. Let me know any details and I'll share it as much as I possibly can, buddy. It'd be great to maybe even pop in from sunnier climes if it suits. Luna Aaron is saying a big hug and wishing a wonderful holiday for you and the loved one. Summer is good for a whiskey break. I agree with you, Luna. I hope it's doing okay over there in Germany as well. Always wonderful to have you in. David Brody is here saying good evening, pal. Good evening, right back at you, David Brody. I hope things are going well out in the Queen of the Hebrides, buddy. It's great to see your content, your smiley faces. Can I just say a huge congratulations to the staggering amount of money and the staggering amount of effort that you put in to raising all that money for the air ambulance. I did donate, but it came to me just a wee bit late. I should have been talking about that on the vPub, David. I should have been supporting you. You didn't need it in the end, buddy. You did an amazing job. Here's to you, David Brody. What a star. Cheers. I think it was over $8,000 in the end. Whiskey Wolf is saying, good evening, Roy, and I finally get to join again after months. Many things have happened, been well, the positive. I became a father 3 months ago, and it's been a wonderful journey, and it's good to be here. Well, I'm going to just top off my wee bottle. I'll try and keep it out of sight, because the bottle that I'm using is actually my Permashelf entry, and it is as delicious as I ever remember it being. I kid you not. It's just fantastic. It seems to get better as I become more and more acquainted with it, and I become more and more seduced by it. But I'll keep it out of sight. But I'll raise the glass for you and your fatherhood, Whiskey Wolf. Cheers to you. Congratulations. Jan, good to see you, Jan. Dramming around saying good evening, Aquaviti. Couldn't miss the last one before the holidays. Hope you'll have fun and rest. I will, and hope you and Teresa do too, Jan. It's good to have you in. And Par is here, Par from Smogan Distillery. I wish you a restful and good holiday, filling up on that energy we all need. Specifically for me, Par, it might be the same where you are in the world too. It's vitamin D. We need the sunshine. We tend to overdose on it when we get it as well. Jimmy Legg is saying, we go south in the wintertime to escape the snow. Do Scots go south in the summertime to escape the midges? There's a wee bit of that, definitely. To escape the clouds. Let's go with that and the wind to Whiskytopia saying good evening, Roy and wonderful whiskey folks. First time live in the vPub, loving the community and the intellect and chasing value and flavour. I'll back you up on the community and I'll talk about their intellect. Let's go with that, the community's intellect and chasing value and flavour, absolutely, however that comes. Wonderful to have you, and thank you. Thank you, Jimmy Legg. Thank you, Whiskytopia. And France G is saying, hope you find your missing summer in Spain. Have a great holiday. That's where we're going to search for it. It tends to be a regular thing, France. Nice to have you in. And Ben, Whiskey with Molly is saying, as delicious, suggesting that might be the Permashelf Pour. No, you're a wee bit off. Paris saying, sun, we get mainly showers here, just varying in intensity. Yes. So we're kindred spirits when it comes to the weather, Par, aren't we? Fantastic stuff. Good. Alistair McPhail's here as well. Good to see you. What have I missed? I've just missed Rick Johnson. Did I pick that one up? Oh, I've missed a couple. So I do apologise. Alistair Gray has gifted 5 Aquavitae memberships. Thank you very much for your generosity, Alistair. 5 folk are going to be able to join the Barflies on Alistair's ticket. Thank you so much, buddy. Whiskey with Molly is saying, enjoy the holiday, Roy. Doubt I'll last all vPub, but I can tell you a bit of sunshine warms the soul. Slantia from Malta. Now, Malta, I think that's on the same timeline as us, buddy, but you're sitting with your feet up, enjoying the sunshine. Fantastic. Ben, thank you for your dram. Cheers to you. And a generous dram as well from Michael Heslin, as well as joining the Barflies. He's saying, everyone on me in Spain. Oh, enjoy one on me in Spain. Everyone needs a recharge every once in a while. Absolutely, buddy. I'm looking forward to it. And Rick Johnson is saying, here's to Helen and Andy's 37th wedding anniversary. It's already written down in the notes here, Rick. You're a superstar, though, thinking about somebody else. Anthony Lambert celebrating, been a member for 11 months, saying celebrating with an Ardnaho 5. Very nice. I'm enjoying that one too. It may or may not appear here this evening. It's not in my list this far, but it's been a fantastic revelation this year. So Rick Johnson, thank you for your very generous dram. Thanks to Mike Heslin, thanks to Anthony Lambert, and thanks to my pal Ben Whiskey with Molly. Let's raise a wee glass for a few folk though. Not only do we have a 37th wedding anniversary from Helen and Andy. I noticed there's some shares on Facebook, and a few of you were kind enough to send me a wee message to say that it's their anniversary. Listen, I don't know how long Helen and Andy have been around the vPub, but I feel like it's certainly, if they're missing, it's noticed and I feel it. I've been able to meet them on a few occasions now. They're just a wonderful couple, wonderfully generous. The type of folk that whiskey in this community seems very good at curating, very good at bringing. But it's nuts to me that they have been married 37 years. I suspect, therefore, they were married at 16 years old. Anyway, it's their 37th wedding anniversary. I think it was either today or yesterday. I think it might be today. I'm going to raise this glass and say congratulations, Helen and Andy. Well done. But that's not all. I wrote down all the birthdays. There are so many birthdays. Let's get through them as quick as we can. Actually, 3. One of them's quite a big one, though. Yesterday, my pal Ingvar Rond, the author of the Malt Whisky Yearbook, which is an unput downable pal in whisky exploration, it comes out every year. He celebrated his birthday yesterday. So I'd like to say happy birthday to Ingvar Rond. He often tunes in, mostly on the replay. Hopefully he'll pick that up. But 2 regular barflies, Alistair Gray and Andy Calderwood, are both celebrating birthdays. But Alistair Gray is actually celebrating a significant birthday. I think, is it okay for me to say, Alistair? Will I just say so? I know you bought a 50-year-old whiskey. You bought yourself a 50-year-old North Star blend to treat yourself. Looks absolutely fabulous, but it's not your 50th birthday. It's your 40th. So to Andy Calderwood and my pal Andy Calderwood and my pal Alistair Gray up in Speyside, many happy returns, boys. Fantastic. Good. Going to miss hanging out with you over the next few weeks, but there's fun to be had in the meantime. Fun that needs to be able to bring you a bit of value. Fun that people watching on the replay get a bit of fun. They're not just turning up here for the bants, right? They're not just turning up here to see me hanging out with some pals as we chat over whiskey. There has to be some kind of takeaway. And I think a good way of injecting a bit of value into that is to gamify things. Why is that? Because people are then just forced to, there's a bit of kind of kudos involved. They're going to be judged by the very community that they love being part of. So they're going to put thought into it. But they're not just going to put thought into it and just pick 5 Springbanks, you know, and they're actually going to want to be judged on the spectrum of the whiskies that they enjoy. And they want to put forward things that they can share passionately, that they can talk enthusiastically about, share anecdotes, whatever it may be, a reason why they want to hold this whiskey up and say, this should be something you consider, either from a specific expression point of view, either from a value perspective, the distillery it's from, the profile it is, the interesting story behind it, whatever it is that makes it intriguing. They're going to be a little bit like a political candidate. They're going to be campaigning for your votes during tonight's session. Over the 5 categories, they'll each have a minute or so to put forward their case for the whiskies that they have picked. There are no duplicates tonight. What's interesting to me, that there were no duplicates put forward. I didn't have to go back and say, sorry, you can't have that one. It's already been selected. However, what did happen is that when it came to me to select my 5, there was 2 or 3 times that I couldn't pick my choice. I decided to go with something else because one of the 3 guys had already picked it in advance. Now, that makes a lot of sense because I'm quite close to these guys. I talk to them a lot about whiskey. Our conversations overlap in multiple places all over the place. So we kind of are leading each other. We're influencing each other with our whiskies and the stuff that we're enjoying. So it makes sense that we're going to have a lot of bottles on the shelf that we're enjoying that are the same. The disadvantage that I take as the host here is that if they pick it in advance, I am not allowed it. First comes, first served. I have to find something else. There's been 1 or 2 bottles that have been put forward and I've just struck it off. I've said, okay, they have to have that. And I have to pick something else. The lucky thing about that is that today in 2024, I put it to you that despite the challenges that we're seeing with certain allocations in certain areas, people chasing certain bottles and things, and certainly on price and trying to discover value, I put it to you that we are completely spoiled for choice right now. We could literally spend this very, very topic. We could spend the next all of the weeks over summer doing this thing, this gamified event, and never run out of inspiration. I think that there's incredible choice right now available to us. And I hope that we're able to share a wee bit of that with you tonight and a wee bit of enthusiasm around it too. Anthony Lambert celebrating being a member for 11 months. It's, I did pick up that one, didn't I? When you were talking about the Arnahoe, but I just noticed that Helen and Andy's here. They are actually here tonight celebrating being a member of the Barflies for 51 months, celebrating being married for 37 years and saying, thank you, Barflies and Roy. You're much loved. You are too, guys. Thank you so much. Cheers to Helen and Andy. Chris Banks Wildlife, good to see you in, Chris. I hope you're doing well. Hi, Roy, and have a safe journey. I had a great time. I'm looking forward to it, Chris. I hope you have a good summer as well, wherever it takes you. Jimmy Legacy, I can't pick between Sevi and Scott. I love them both equally, Aquavite. I think you would quickly discover a fondness for Mr. McQueen as well. Aye, but you've no crossed path yet. Everyone, Chris is here too, saying hello, ahoy, malt mates. Chris, it's always great to welcome you in, buddy. I hope you're doing well. Jimmy Legg is saying, no, 3 Springbanks and 2 Kilkerrans. Perfect. Doesn't need to be 5 Springbanks. It's funny because when I mentioned this in the chat, one of the guys, I think it was Andy, just went in and he said, pick 5 Kilkerrans. Kilkerran for every one of them. It's a surefire winner. It could be, but I suspect that the people voting would spot the pattern and maybe kind of vote tactically. Would that become part of it? Anyway, let's see how it works tonight. We're going to just need to kind of work things through, make it work as best as we possibly can. Gregor's going to be joining us a wee bit later, as we say, but we'll do our best to get through. By the time that Sevi, Scotty and myself have shared our first picks, hopefully Gregor will be dropping in and he can share his. If that doesn't happen, I know what he's picked. I'll put it forward and I'll set the poll rolling anyway. I can't think of a better way to work it, that we just pad it out until Gregor appears. I think I always worry about these things and they always end up taking care of themselves. I think it'll be fine. Anyway, let's get things underway. Let's reach out to some of the folk who I've come to know as the Bottlechasers. This name came about just because the four of us ended up being really quite close pals, especially over lockdown. That was solidified. And I called the group the Bottlechasers simply because that seemed to be what the chat was revolving around most of the time, especially back in 2019, 2020, right? We're just getting excited about various bottles of whiskey, and it felt like we were constantly chasing bottles, and it was a group chat, became known as Bottlechasers. And the four of us have kind of self-referred as such since. What's a bit of a shame is that it's been very, very rare. I think I can count on one hand how many times the four of us have been in the same space at the same time. It will happen in November this year. Fingers crossed for that, for the Glasgow Whisky Festival. But we have been able to do it virtually multiple times. Sometimes we private session, but often on the vPub and other formats. It's been good to get together. So we're able to do that tonight. Fingers crossed that Gregor's going to turn up at some point. Anyway, let's get on with welcoming some of these folk in. Let's start with, how could I bring in this fella? All you need to do to keep this man happy is feed him peanut butter and chocolate and avoid cheese after midnight. I'm going to bring in Kilted Moose, my pal, Scotty. Mr. Kilted Moose, Dramface extraordinaire. Good to have you in. I'll just hold on the route. I'm going to just get in Sevi so all three of us are in at the same time.
Okay.
How we would introduce Sevi, but I was thinking about something that I'm going to screw up if I try it, but I'll try. How does this go? Do you recognize the reference here, Scotty? If you've got a whiskey problem and no one else can help, if you can find them and if you can afford them, maybe you can hire the alchemist.
Brilliant. Hello, Sevi. Hello, Roy. Hello, Barflies. Good to see you.
So good to see you. So good to see you. It'd be broad to get Gregor in at the same time, but the boy's 8 hours behind us, so we'll just give him a wee bit of time. Nice to have you, Scotty. Nice to have you, Sevi. You're almost silhouetted, but for the first time, I think we're going to be able to see you and hear you quite well tonight because you're actually on a computer rather than on a phone or a laptop on your table.
For sure.
How are you both? How are you, Sevi?
Good, buddy. Glad to be in.
It's been a while. It's been a wee while.
It has indeed.
I don't know.
Now has an Ethernet cable, a laptop. We're joining the 18th century. We're doing well.
Brilliant.
You've now got fast broadband down in Eaglesham, have you?
For
Just
sure.
wait for a colour TV. You'll be fine.
We've been trying to encourage Sevi to upgrade his technology so that he could maybe join us, Scotty, on the occasional Dramface podcast. What do you think?
Indeed, I'd love to have Sevi in the podcast. In fact, I need to be on it as well. I've not been on it for ages either, so yes.
Aye, well,
Sevi would be good.
Aye, that's right. We've just recorded a couple for people that are interested in the Dramface podcast. We've just recorded a couple, and Scotty wasn't able to attend for those two, but those will drop in the next week or two. Maybe over the course of summer, the 2 podcasts will drop. But maybe if Sevi sorts himself out with some tech, you'll get involved. Do you listen to the Dramface podcast, Sevi?
I do. To be honest, it's one of my favourite things that I do when I'm writing my reports at work. I have a usual kind of, how can I say, a stable of podcasts that I go through. I maybe have a slightly in-depth, psychologist or something like a social commentary kind of podcast. Then I go for the Dramface podcast just to kind of lighten things up. Then I get the vPub. So I go between the two just to kind of keep things nice and light, but also a wee bit of educational stuff in there as well. So absolutely. I've definitely got a face for a podcast, that's for sure.
Not at all. Hey, let me make a wee confession. I have discovered that I need to watch and listen to whiskey content late in the evening. Mm-hmm. I have also discovered that I can't watch or listen whiskey content if I'm trying to have dry nights. Yes. Do you suffer from the same thing? As soon as somebody's enthused about whiskey, you just like, you're suddenly encouraged to pour a wee dram. Does that happen for you?
Yeah, it happens for me. YouTube content, I can't watch it. Like I can't watch whiskey YouTube content without pouring a dram, which is pretty bad. So I need to kind of limit my. So what happens is I got all these videos to watch at the end of the week, over the weekend. But yeah, I agree. Same thing. You could just put it in your mind. Yeah. Well, one dram won't hurt. It's only 11 o'clock at night. Before you know it's 3 in the morning, you're thinking I'm up at work in 3 hours. Be careful, you know.
That's right. For me, it's usually when somebody starts getting really enthused and talking about texture, and they start to speak quite passionately about it, or they pick out some taste notes that I'm not sure I've ever tasted before. The next thing you know, you've got some in the glass, and you're sitting. You're watching it for the second time around, watching it on replay. I've got my wee guilty pleasures of channels that I still watch to this day. And like I say, I have to make sure it's late at night, or I find myself, keen to pour a wee dram. And like I say, are you still trying to hit 200 days a year, Scotty?
Yes, 200 dry days a year is always the goal. I don't always meet that goal, but I give it a good shot. I think that so far this year, I'm at 105, 106 so far this year. So that's okay. That's halfway through the year. So that's not too bad.
You've pretty much done it. Good man. And I think everybody has to find something that works. But some of us have things forced on us that means that we don't have much choice. And Sevi's about to discover that because baby number 3 is imminent. He's going for it.
Yeah, for sure.
So dry nights are going to be an easy thing for you to do. You're going to need to stick to your social commentary and your distractive podcasts because whiskey would be a bad thing to listen to, buddy. Congratulations on the growing family.
I know.
It's imminent, isn't it?
Thank you. Yes, imminent. 7 weeks to go. Thank you, guys. It's a big, very exciting. I think the thing for me is that I like listening to my podcasts when I'm doing my work, but I think that I don't necessarily, even if it's a podcast about whiskey, I don't necessarily get drawn to feel like I have to dram. If I watch like a, do you know what I mean, on YouTube, or I watch a vPub, that's more when I feel like I don't know. It's more the kind of the audio stuff for me actually helps me concentrate and get on with my work. Whereas I feel like when you watch it, it's almost like you're sitting down with a vPub and chill, if you know what I mean, that kind of vibe.
Aye, exactly that.
But thank you for the stuff. I'm not kind of gossing over that. Yeah, very excited to become a father again, and expecting our third boy. So that will probably be the shop shut, I think.
Aye, and to be honest, Sevi and I have been kicking the backside out of getting our whiskey events in, knowing that it's going to dry up for a wee while at least, but it's drying up for the best of reasons, buddy. And I wish you
Alison's
all.
Going to be contacting Lynn in the future to say, is this actually a legit venture, or are they just kicking the earth out of it?
No, but they have all been legit, but we are actually kicking the backside out of it. But it's always been great fun, and the difference that you've made to the trips that I've had in 2024, Sevi, has been off the scale. I can't wait till the next time that we're all getting together, and just such great fun. Anyway, we're here tonight. It's a more virtual thing, and there's more folk. It's easy for me just to slip into the fact that I'm just hanging out with Scott and Sevi, and I forget that there's a few other folk tuning in.
No swearing.
Well. Listen, what I'm going to do is I'm very aware, and it might be obvious that this we're going to try and pad things out a wee bit because we can get through a wee bit without Gregor, but it'd be nicer if he was participating and involved, because this is as much to do with reaction and banter as much as anything. But we have got somebody that can tease what we're going to finish out on tonight. The gamification continues after these whiskies that we're going to select, and hopefully, boys, you're ready for a wee bit of Menno bashing.
Every time, man. Every time I'm on here, it's a Menno quiz. Like,
I'm fully expecting my first ever donut tonight. I'm getting nothing.
Menno knew. I'm going to ask him if he's put his thumbs up if he's able to come in. He's got some company there. Oh, just disappeared. He was getting a wee kiss on the cheek there. Let's bring him in. The madman from Belgium that we're all afraid of. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you.
Good evening, everybody.
I hope you're keeping well. And I hope, I was talking there a wee bit that 7 years of the vPub, Menno, and I've still not had a 10 out of 10 myself. It doesn't matter if it's another 7 years for that to happen. But it does. It makes me realise the buzz and the fun of what the quiz at the end is about, and how it does become a thing. Yeah. Have you followed the similar pattern?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Well, is it a typical Menno quiz?
It is. Yeah,
Oh.
very much so. There will be a few easy ones, but there will be a few not so easy ones.
Okay, thanks, Menno.
The
Thanks
thing
for
that
mixing it
always,
up.
the thing that always stumps me about a Menno quiz is he has a better command of English than the three of us do. So
The three of we.
three of we, there you go.
It's a fair
Three of
point.
we.
Yeah. Listen, Sev, he's got a fantastic blog as well called Menno's Multi-Mission. And I'm always struck by his command of the English language. I'm speaking about you like you're not here, Menno, but I'm paying you wee compliments here, and it's fantastic content that you're putting out there. Sevi was talking about things that he regularly listens to. The Menno blog is something I regularly read. I love it. I love the personality in it. I love the candid nature of it. I love the honesty. And I love the fact that you're not trying to be anything other than represent where you are at that point in your journey.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Menno's Multi-Mission. You get that plug because you've turned up in uniform tonight. Thank you, bud. Thank you.
Fly the flag.
Flying the flag, absolutely. So I know it's an hour ahead, buddy. I know we're keeping you up a wee bit late tonight. And
No problem.
have you got commitments tomorrow? Yes, no doubt.
Yeah, so a bit of work, but girls, the school vacation has started here as well, so no need to set an alarm at a ridiculous hour tomorrow, so it's all good.
Good. So we're looking forward to all participating in a wee bit of a quiz at the end as well, and that means that hopefully Gregor will be participating too. I asked you, Menno, to prepare a list of your own picks, just in case you wanted to play along, or if you were required to play along. If we didn't have, if Gregor's a no-show, for example, we might reach out to Menno and pull you in to participate. How's that sound?
Perfect.
Okay, good. And if you're not
came prepared,
if you're not involved, we'll maybe ask you what your 5 picks were at the end before we kick off the quiz. Yeah,
all good.
Yeah, be interesting.
Menno, Roy being nice to you doesn't mean extra points in the quiz.
No, he's already on a 3 out of 10 in the quiz and hasn't even started.
That's usually at least what I need for the quiz at the end. What was you remember, Sevi, when we were down in Campbelltown? We participated in a Menno quiz, right? And it was who was hosting the vPub then? That was
it Jeff? Was it Jeff?
Yeah, it was Jeff.
It was
Jeff's session, yes, of course, with Jenny and everyone.
We have vague recollections of that one.
Yeah, and
that was a horrible quiz.
It really was brutal. But I mean, it just might be because of how blurry the whole memory of it was for me. It was such a good time, right? But I think I barely scraped a pass mark for that one. And that's not the first time that it's happened on a Menno quiz. The thing is that if I dish the medicine, I have to be able to take the medicine. So I'll be here and all. And I'm looking forward to you hosting us a wee bit later, buddy. Let's raise a wee glass to our pal in Belgium who's staying up extra late for us all. Cheers, Menno.
Slange.
See you very shortly, big guy. Sorry, Seth?
That quiz in Campbelltown, though, was, I think it was a double or a trifecta of the fact that we'd had a wonderful time at Julie's birthday. We'd obviously moved between venues, and it was late on in the night, shall we say. We'd certainly had a good few sherries at the festival as well. So,
can I say, I was impressed with us.
Yeah.
Because on the first night, we wound it down. We had food and we had a few drams, but we kept it light. We knew how exciting the next day was. Even on the Thursday night at Julie's party, we walked home. We were completely in great shape. We managed to participate in the quiz and everything on the stream, and we'd had a good day on the Friday as well. On the Friday night, maybe we kicked it out a wee bit. We relaxed a wee bit more.
That's my fault.
I was just about to blame you, Scotty. It's your fault.
See, I missed that Menno quiz because I was up at 4 a.m. to catch the 6:30 bus to Campbelltown on the Friday.
Yeah. All I can say though, that Friday night was fantastic though. Honestly, some the banter and everything was just. I think once you kind of, if anyone has that opportunity to go to the Campbelltown Festival and just immerse yourself in it. I know Frank was there, which was great to see him there. Just a real opportune kind of jets down in the bike, and he had a couple of days with us, and I really enjoyed seeing him. Like, I'd never met Frank before. It was great to have him there. Where he brought his Dunkus, his lovely biscuits with him, which I was a big fan of. But it was just great to have him there and just see loads of different people. And I always remember when Scotty flies in the bus straight into that Kilkerran tasting. In fact, warehouse tasting is literally just off the bus. And
still got his luggage on his back, right?
Still my backpack on.
I was ropey, man. How ropey was that? We were there was no seats. We were literally in a dingy warehouse, and I was ropey. And one taste of triple distilled Kilkerran. And what was the phrase?
I'm back. I'm back.
I'm back.
That was brilliant. Yeah, you guys were in a bad way. You're like, I hope there's seats. There's no seats. And one taste of that super strength Kilkerran triple distilled. Boom.
Listen, I've made inquiries for Campbelltown next year, boys. I hope we can make it happen. Might be tricky for you, Sevi. I know it's not easy for any of us, honestly, but we need to push and make a wee bit extra effort because it's black. Sure. Scotty, see, when our guests left that night, or the majority, not all the guests, but it was just us, and the memories of you standing up and giving us a presentation on all the generations and what they mean from the silent generation to Gen Z today is just the stuff of legend. And I would go, if there was no tastings, if there was no whiskey, if there was no festival days, I would go all the way back down to Campbelltown just to participate in that, buddy. So
I would like to say I remember it, but it's all good. It's all good.
That was just that presentation was fantastic. Honestly, it will live long in the memory.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
We only went to one tasting a day, so it shows that you don't need to go to too many tastings. Like, I think.
Well, Friday when Scotty joined us, we managed the warehouse tasting, and then so we did. But generally, the rest of the time, you don't need to have booked up for the tastings. You can just enjoy being there with the people. Jimmy Leggs bought us a dram to say Scotty looks like $1 million. He's the Sean Connery of the vPub. Sevi's choice in wall art is questionable, though.
Thank you, Jimmy. That's very kind.
Thank you for the dram, Jimmy.
My asymmetric, my shapes. I'll tell Alison. Alison's not going to be happy with you, Jimmy. That was one of her top choices as well.
I once did a Sean Connery impersonation in a nightclub in Dundee and was booed off the stage. So there you go. But thank you, Jimmy. I appreciate it.
You're not going to be booed off this stage, and we're not going to bully you into doing a Sean Connery.
The night is young.
Okay, good man. Inverurie Whiskey Shop is enjoying the barflies as well and gifted 5 other Aquavitae memberships. Mike, you superstar, thank you very, very much. I hope things are doing well up there in Inverurie, and it's wonderful to have you in the vPub as always, buddy. Stevie O is here. Fantastic, Stevie. Good to have you here. A huge supporter of Dramface as well, a supporter of me in the channel. It's wonderful to have you, buddy, saying only 2 months, but counting. Aye, here's to that. Here's to counting. Cheers to everyone. Thanks for your generosity. Let's get started. I think we've given our pal plenty time. Let's just get the wheels on. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for hanging about. Thank you for waiting. If you're watching this on the replay, obviously you've got some timestamps underneath, so you can just skip right ahead. Hopefully you don't know, because it misses some of the detail and subtlety in these sessions. That's maybe just how I feel about it. Anyway, let's get on with the first one, boys. I gave you some of these topics, some of these categories. They're a wee bit nebulous, but hopefully we can understand what they all are. The Permashelf Pour. Permashelf has become a common word that we use on the vPub. It's a good way to talk about a set of whiskies that we love to always have around. These are things that we've fallen in love with for whatever reason, because they're good value, they're always available, because they're delicious, of course. But there's often a bit of an emotional connection there as well. Permashelf whiskies are things that we tend to want to replace on empty. That's the crucial, critical part. We are going to put forward a whiskey each. And based on our campaigning for that individual whiskey, after we've campaigned, I know that the last time we were bullied into just putting the whiskies up and letting people vote straight away. But I suggest, at least for the first category, we're going to put our campaign forward and then put the 4 whiskies up. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds good.
right? Everyone will be able to hear you, but as I step forward to take on the first one, they'll only see me. I'm going to put my wee Lego Bottlechaser emoji up on the top here. I'm going to try and keep up with this all night. And I'll take center stage. Everyone will still be able to hear you guys, so you can snigger in the background if you like. But I'm going to put forward what I would pick is my Permashelf Pour for tonight. It's been in the glass all of this evening. My cheeks are red. I can feel it. It's so, so delicious, so easy to drink. And as I said earlier when I was sipping this whiskey, I have not enjoyed it more than I am tonight. It is absolutely delicious. It comes from the best distillery, the most celebrated distillery that we have in Scotland right now, or let's say the most celebrated producer that we have in Scotland right now. But this is the sister distillery. This is the one that's just off to the side. This is the kind of if you know distillery as far as I'm concerned. The fact that I can pick this bottle up for less than £50, and it's the one that tends to be available more than most from this producer, is just a bonus for me, and hopefully a bonus for a lot of you as well. So we're each going to get a minute or two to talk about each of our individual picks, and I'm putting forward Janie Mitchell's Kilkerran Glengyle's 12-year-old. This is the entry-level product from Kilkerran, first released in 2016. It's not done anything but get better since it was first released, as far as I'm concerned. I do love the stuff. It does suffer from a touch of batch variation, but out of all the ranges that you buy from Kilkerran, this is by far the most consistent and reliable. Even when we have batch variation here, we don't suffer. The baseline never drops. It's always fantastic. I could sit here and give you the tasting notes and everything, but this is hopefully something that's made it to enough of you right now to understand how good quality a product this is. Fantastic stuff, fully natural at 46% ABV, £48 typically. Sometimes it does slip over 50 these days. When this was first launched, I remember it being £34, quite incredible back in 2016. But it's a wee bit more expensive today, but we don't mind paying a wee bit more for natural whiskey, certainly not when it's this quality. Kilkerran 12 has to be a Permashelf pick for the majority, surely. What say you?
Yeah, good shout. It's all right, you know.
It's all right.
It's all right.
It's all right.
You know.
Interestingly, I picked something that's been close to both of your hearts on vPub past
true.
appearances.
Very
I'm not
true.
going to mention why it's synonymous with Sevi in the vPub, but I will talk about the time that Scotty was able to pick it up and say, this is Kilkerran 12, drinking it absolutely blind.
Well, to be honest, a wee caveat, I did say it's either Kilkerran or Hazelburn. I thought it might have been a Hazelburn as well. So,
Well, that's good enough for me. That's
Okay.
pretty close. You picked up the funk in there. Something made you realise that it was. So, Scotty, are you ready to start canvassing while I put the poll together?
yeah, let's do it. Let's go for it.
Let's do it. Let's bring your wee emoji up and let's give you the stage.
Okay, hello everybody. Okay, that's a good shout by Roy Kilkerran. Fantastic. I don't tend to buy the same bottle twice. I always kind of change it up, but there's only some bottles that I go back to time and time again. And one producer is another young distillery, and it's Ardnamurchan, but it's in particular the cask strength Ardnamurchan. This is from 22, as you can see. But I first tried this just when the lockdown was easing a little bit back in February 2022. And I got a picture on my phone. It was at the Glasgow Whisky Festival. And they had the bottle there, but they hadn't done the label for it yet. And that was it there at the festival. They pressed it in my hand and had a wee dram, and I thought it was brilliant. I think at that point it was going to be £60, and it's roughly round about that as well at the moment. The normal AD Ardnamurchans are brilliant. This has just got that extra wee kick to it, that lovely toffeed sweetness going on, that seashell thing going on, the pebble thing, the minerality. It's just a great dram. Drop of water does wonders for it as well. But this is one, I've got several bottles of this. But this one I picked tonight, the 22. Other ones I've got open as well. I think it's just called AD now as well. I think it's got the AD label on it these days without the code. But for the real kind of essence of what pure essence of what they're doing at Ardnamurchan right now. I think the cask strength is definitely where it's at. Just good quality, drammable whiskey, and I commend it to the house.
Fantastic. I think the difficulty, I can see a flaw in the concept tonight in terms of banter. I don't think there's going to be a lot of whiskey shared tonight that we're not going to agree on.
That's true. Yeah, I guess
it's quite incredible, right? And I don't think, I put it to you, I don't think we're influencing each other and we've all got to just kind of echo chamber it and say, oh, no, that's a good one, that's a good one. Mm-hmm. We're all sipping individually. It's very rare for us to get together, boys, right? Absolutely, we're making up our minds in isolation most of the time, right?
Yeah, and it should be noted as well, it's probably been mentioned, obviously you know, Roy, what's going on, but I don't know what Sevy's picks are or Gregor's picks. We don't know what we've got, so it's all completely independent. It's sent to you privately, so... But yeah, I guess I kind of know the three of you, your kind of palate preferences and your kind of what you like. But it's still difficult because, again, it's about bottles that we've got in hand as well. Maybe there's some that we love that we just don't have anymore or can't get hold of, sort of thing as well. But
I think there's overlap. There's overlap with us all, but I think that maybe you and I, Scotty, have the biggest overlap. Sevy's quite extreme in a lot of his picks. He loves these kind of quite crazy, big, bold, beefy. He's, the attention grabber at the end's probably going to be the one I'm looking at Sevy, because that's the type of whiskies that Sevy goes nuts for. And Gregor has still got a foot firmly fixed in the sherry lane, right?
Yeah, he's more like me. I think that's why I feel like I'm missing my my goose, my wingman here, because you two are the clean cut bourbon kings, whereas I need my dirty bearded sherry monster in my kind of sidecar here to give me a wee bit of a hand. But I was saying, like, when Roy, you put your one up, Scotty, you as well, I was like, damn, I would pick your guys' ones, and I don't want to give myself a bad chance at doing well here, but both of those, I might not agree with some of the other ones, but those two are just Permashelf Pours. I would have them as Permashelf Pours in mine as well. Mm-hmm. I found this cask quite hard.
So when the nominations came in, the disadvantage for me, I get to see what everything is. So there has to be a disadvantage to that. There has to be an offset, and the disadvantage is that if you guys pick it, you get it first. So in my shortlist for the Permashelf Pour, Ardnamurchan was there, and I'm looking at the core range and saying, what is the core range I'm going to want to see? They've got a really strong range now. The standard Ardnamurchan AD is a brilliant whiskey for 45 quid, right? Incredible. But I looked at it and I thought, no, that cask strength. See, when the peat is there at 50-50, I think it is. No, it's mostly peaty, the cask strength, right? See, when you've got that salinity and that coastal thing dialed right up, it is just, if you were to give somebody, a whiskey lover, a hit of Ardnamurchan and you wanted to hit it right on the nose, I suggest that, Scotty, that cask strength would be right. Anyway, it meant I had to score it off my list.
Sorry, Roy.
I think the thing with the cask strength as well is the fact that, everybody, I love their single casks, but that the whole essence of that single cask is you can get one that you really have an affinity for. Some of them you go to, some of you don't. But with that cask strength, it's almost it's the kind of the little snippets of each one of those single casks that just makes a very well-rounded cask strength version of those single casks, which in essence is what the public want. You know what I mean? It's an affordable dram. It is just a great dram. I'm basically your press guy here, Scotty, to just
thank you, Sevy. The checks in the post and the bottle of the Ardnamurchan cask strength as well. Also going to say about the finish on it, I had a wee sip there, still going, real kind of dark earthiness from that peat as well. I don't think the peat is smack you in your face peat, but it just adds that kind of layer of darkness to it. It's magic. Great stuff. Absolutely.
Well, let's give the man the floor to see what he's going to pick. I love these wee Lego animations. I really do love them, these wee icons. Let's see what Sevy would pick for his Permashelf position. Take it away, big guy.
Okay, we should say as well, other Danish building blocks are available. That's all right. So for my Permashelf, it wouldn't be me unless I picked something a little bit random. It's not quite what the boys have done. So I put to you, the Barflies, my Permashelf bottling. Now, bear with me. is simply the Springbank cage bottle. Now, specifically, the Kilkerran range that they have.
Oh,
So,
Kilkerran,
yes,
you say? Kilkerran, you say?
yes,
Fresh
So
sherry.
this is the Kilkerran Fresh Sherry. Also, because it is the only whiskey that I've ever seen that was distilled on my birthday, which is the 17th of December. I mean, who actually distills whiskey in like a week before Christmas? That's mental. But anyway, so the thing for me is like these Kilkerrans, or this specific Kilkerran, this sherry, has really, really spoken to me. And it is a whiskey. And you say, why Permashelf Pour? Because this would make me drive the 3 and a bit hours to go and get it as soon as it's empty. And I know that sounds crazy, but it is that good that I think if anyone has the ability to do it. Now, yeah, you know something? You take the chance that you go there and one of these isn't there. But I tell you what, there will be something there that you should have as a Permashelf Pour all the time. Doesn't matter if it's Springbank, doesn't matter if it's Long Row, Hazelburn, Kilkerran, doesn't matter if it's 8 years old, doesn't matter if it's 5 years old. Like, for example, my next bottle, which after this one, so I've already got my Permashelf Pour, is the Kilkerran heavily peated version. Okay?
Oh.
So, in fact, thank you to Isabel, who managed to get it for me.
So you have to pick one.
Right, so I'm picking the sherry, but what I'm saying is the whole idea with this is I'm picking this Kilkerran sherry. It is unbelievable. It is so good. It's fresh sherry. It's as good as the Springbanks. In fact, I think it is better than the Springbanks because everybody who goes down there, all the tourists, they usually want the sherried Springbank. This one tends to be here more often. It's just a phenomenal dram. It's thick. It's everything we love about Kilkerran. It's just amazing. Cask strength, 13 years old. It's £80. I know that's maybe a wee bit expensive for some folk, but if you make that trip down to Campbelltown and you get one of these, I guarantee you, as soon as it's getting close to the end, you'll want to go back for another. And it's the drive as well. Think about it. If you think, right, okay, I've got a third of a bottle left, you'll be like, when can I plan to take that drive down to Kintyre? Through it's honestly, for me, the cage bottle is always going to be my Permashelf Pour.
He's selling it, Scotty. I think we need to pull his parachute. What do you think?
Well,
right.
pull his parachute because I've got something to say about this. I would agree with the journey there, obviously, and I recommend the bus if you're in Glasgow. It's a 4-hour journey, and it's just beautiful because you're just sitting there doing nothing but eating sandwiches and Haribo. It's good. But what I would say, Sevy, is like you've got that beautiful Kilkerran. What are they doing putting in sherry? You know? What's going on there?
Well, I tell you what, Scotty, if you don't want that, you can go down there and get the 14-year-old fresh bourbon.
Or this is an absolute out the park. I can't believe I'm supporting Sevy's. But the reason I hold this up is because it was within reach, and also Sevy said 80, but this one is £65. So they do start a wee bit cheaper. Now, I think the takeaway from this is that everybody's going to be screaming and saying, wait a minute, a cage bottle, that's not a Permashelf. Sorry, this is a very personal thing. Whiskey is always a personal thing. This is Sevy's personal thing. He doesn't live close to Campbelltown, but he's as close as Scotty and I are.
Yep.
And he's up and down there much more than Scotty and I are because he's so driven and he loves the stuff. But he's also has the ability to do that. So if you're going to vote for these whiskies, maybe you want to weave that in. You might be out there somewhere that you can never, ever set your eyes or your hands on a Campbelltown cage bottling, but perhaps one day you might. And think about it. If you could, if you lived 3.5 hours drive away, a 5-hour bus trip away, would you go and do it? You bet your backside you would.
I would
based on flavour in that bottle, 60. I can't believe I'm shouting for somebody else's whiskey.
It's ridiculous.
The thing is, as well, think of the amount of times where, like, because of that idea of the remoteness, and this is my last thing I'll say about it, is that if you have a friend that's down there, or you know someone that's down there, or somebody is down there, and they've brought a spouse or whatever, they're like, can you pick me up one of those cage bottles? Because you want that bottle to be on your shelf permanently, because if you do, it's something you can always go to, and you know fine well that the quality of that dram, bourbon, sherry, anything, will be fantastic. Rum masala. But as I said, I'm backing this one because, I mean, look at the colour of it anyway. It is phenomenal. Nothing has touched that. Fresh
Well,
sherry.
we've got Matt Bishop in the chat backing you up a wee bit as well with another suggestion that even if you turn up and there's no cage bottles, there's no Kilkerran cage bottles, the demijohns he's saying in the shop can be Permashelf rather than the cage bottles that change.
Absolutely.
Remember, the demijohns change as well, but it's more of a drift thing, whereas it's obviously availability change on the cage bottles. Of course it is. Very good shout, Matt.
Yeah.
Anybody that walks into the Springbank shop and comes out disappointed, it's because you forgot about the demijohns, right?
Yeah. So I mean, if you go to Campbelltown, Sevy's absolutely right as well. I mean, because you go there, and if there's not cage bottle, so when I was there for the festival, when I got to the cage, there was an 8-year-old bourbon cask Hazelburn, which I'm quite happy with. I love Hazelburn, and I grabbed that, and then of course they restocked the shelf, and I think it was Jen from the Whiskey Club managed to get a 14-year-old Kilkerran bourbon cask, and I was raging, but that's the way it goes.
That's the way it goes.
And the thing is, as you say, you go to that shop, there's something you're going to buy.
There's always going to be something. There's
plenty of good, amazing whiskey there. So yeah.
And in fact,
He-Head is shouting for you as well, Sev.
Yeah, those demijohns actually, like Mr. Bishop has actually, like, do you know, that's probably even, I would probably choose his version because they are always accessible. Like I'm going with this Kilkerran because it really is my Permashelf Pour now.
Reminds me, how much is a demijohn? 45 quid?
Yeah, I think it's 40.
I think it's 45.
Mid 40s. Yeah. Like, and you also get if you're a Cadden Heads or a Springbank Society member, I'm sure you get your 10% off the demijohns. You certainly used to. I'm not sure if you still do, but you said. But yeah, that is a great shout. You're never going wrong with those. But I'm
mixed feedback. And Peter is saying, have to agree with Alchemist out of the three. The Springbank cage bottle is the only one of the three that's on my shelf. Aquaviti. Oh wow. Whiskey Weekend Dram Harris saying, tasted this one with the locals after a Cadenhead tasting Aquaviti's Sevi. Great whiskey. The bottle was bought by the father of my friend. I bought the bourbon Springer for myself. But then we've got a swing back from Jimmy Legg saying, I don't think Sevi understands the category. And Ian Bruce suggesting that you pick the entire cage. Okay, here's what we're going to do. Dogs have no uncles. I'm good to see you, Colin. He's saying I need a holiday, plus I need to get a present for my dad's 70th. This might have convinced me to catch a bus to Campbelltown soon. Let me do. Scotty talked about the bus and how lovely it was and how chilled it was. David Allen from Springbank was telling me about, he's driving up and down and he's flying in and out of Campbelltown. He was talking to me so positively about his bus journey down, and he said it was like a 4K screen. The window was just scenes all the way down. He loved the bus trip. He said it was very relaxing having somebody else drive. It's quite a few hours, but there's lots to see out the window. All you need is some nice clear weather, and I think it would be amazing.
Yeah,
that last 40 minutes when you kind of get to the fact that you're on the coastline.
You switch from inland to outland or west coast, right?
As soon as you pass through Tarbert, that's you.
If it's a clear day, that is one of the nicest drives. It's not quite as warm as like the French Riviera or anything like that, but I tell you what, you would struggle to find something as beautiful as that drive, going down, seeing the Paps, all that kind of stuff.
And be mindful of the weather and high-sided vehicles.
Yes, that's very true. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I tell you what we're going to do. We've got a very brave man in Belgium that's stepped up to take our man from Portland's place. Oh, as that was said, boop, somebody appeared. Let's bring Menno in now just to say thank you to him. Menno, amazingly, because Gregor's so delinquent and late, he's here now. You were going to step forward and do
the case for Gregor,
for his bottle, which is amazing to me. Thank you, buddy. But he's just appeared at the last moment. So let's raise a glass before we hate him at the end of tonight to the courage and the bravery of Menno, who was willing to pitch Gregor's pick. Amazing fella, amazing. Let's see.
Menno.
I suspect you might have been able to do it better than Gregor. Cheers.
Yeah, absolutely.
I hope you're enjoying it in the background, buddy. It's going to be great to welcome you in soon, my friend. See you in a wee bit. Well, he's finally here. I don't know how to bring him in. I know that there's been a lot of talk recently about how much of a hit this fella's been hosting the Dramface podcast. I do think he does a fantastic job. Although it's starting to stick in my throat a wee bit telling him that. Regardless, it's nice that he's finally here. The man with a golden voice from Portland with love, Amber Finger himself. Time for a Dram, the Dramface podcast host, Gregor McQuee, or as he's now known, Sevy's dirty bearded sherry monster.
How are we
nice
doing?
to have you.
I just
Hello,
changed
Gregor.
for your benefit.
Hey, oh, is that what held you up? You were picking your wardrobe.
Ah, exactly. I was quick wardrobe change.
That take you 45 minutes, aye?
It,
I was going to say, like, Menno's no aged well.
pipe down you. It took me 5 minutes to pick the wardrobe. It took me 40 to do my hair.
Ah, of course.
It's good to see you, mate.
James,
Yeah, you
James McGorran in Sweden is saying, look at that hair. It's
Aye.
good to see you. It's good to. Can I just take a moment before we get into the craziness? The four of us are here. That's a
Not
weird
here.
thing.
Virtually.
Yeah.
It's not. It's we're not in the same space, but we take what we can get, and it's 2024, so it's good as. But it's been too long. It's been a wee while. So let's, before we get on to all the shenanigans, let's raise a wee glass to that.
Brilliant. Always a
The
pleasure to see you all.
Bottlechasers, cheers.
Was the last time we did this outside a church at Langside Park about 4 years ago?
No, that was the first time the four of us
Oh,
got
that was
together.
Aye.
And now that we're all in here, look, I can swap out the Barfly logo for the Bottlechasers logo.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Ah, look at that. Ah,
Yeah,
just
that.
only for tonight. Only for tonight. Only
One
for
night
this
only.
second. Let me get you caught up, Mr. McQuee.
Please.
We have all put our case forward. I'll tell you what the whiskies are. You don't get to participate, obviously, in how we campaigned for each of those individual whiskies. I'm
Right.
sorry, you're just out of the cold shower and into the hot seat. You just have to jump in and put your case forward for your pick. But I can get you up to speed. I picked Kilkerran 12-year-old and put the case forward for it. Scotty picked Ardnamurchan's Cast Strength and put a strong case forward for it. Sevy has just spent ages waxing lyrical about how jazzed he is that you can actually buy Kilkerran from Springbank's cage now. Amazing. However, you've got your very own pick. Will I just launch you straight into it, or do you need to ask anything first?
No, I'd maybe caveat because I text you before sharing, and for those that have pieced together a bit of knowledge of me through various previous chats, you could probably already predict what my selections have been. I tried to pick something that was honest to my collection. It truly reflected me. I wasn't trying to play a game of beating you all and picking Kilkerran's this and a Springbank that. I tried to keep it very much real and a reflection of me and my collection. And I'll say this, upon reflection, it probably shows I need to broaden a little more. So maybe this is a line in the sand. This is Gregor 1.0.
Well, I have to be honest. I didn't want to lead you too much, any of you too much, when I put the things out. All I wanted is for you to pick from your hearts. I wanted to pick what you wanted to pick and just let the chips fall where they may, because we can never predict what the lounge, what the people watching are actually going to vote for. So all you can do is pick what you can talk about passionately. That's all you can do.
Yeah.
And that's what we've done so far. I think that looking at all the lists, I think it does reflect our individual personalities, no doubt about it.
But I'll play the game. I'll play the game, Roy. I'll asterisk this and say, throw me a sympathy vote occasionally, Barflies. You know, I've given so much to this community for very little back.
Jeez, this is like watching Question Time.
What? It's like, I was about to say, this is like Rishi Sunak on the Friday after the general election.
I'm not a sinking ship. No, I'm channeling Jeff Whiskey here. He knew how to play the game.
Absolutely.
But in the interest of time, I can talk about my Permashelf Pour, shall I?
Go for it, mate.
I'll give you your wee bug up in the corner.
Hey.
I'll give you the stage. You've now got a minute or two to
I'm on the
sell
clock.
us you're not on the clock, on your Permashelf Pour.
So my Permashelf Pour, I looked at my collection. I was down there just before the stream, and I was looking at it. And for me, it's the things that I know I've bought repeatedly. So it has to be accessible, attainable, And my justification for it in my lineup was it's a bottle that I use for calibration purposes. It's not truly about enjoying that bottle, or like it's a must-have. For me, it's like it has to be there because it's a calibrator dram. And for those that know me, they know what that is. So for me, this one is a tool. And for that purpose, I chose the Glenmorangie 10 because everyone can get it. And it serves the purpose of starting a flight for me. It calibrates. It's the base level. It's the foundation setter. And you want a middle of the road whiskey, not too peated. Well, not peated, not to skew in any direction. So, Glenmorangie 10. I doff my hat to you, and I get it a little bit better percentage in the States as well. So there is that.
Of course, yeah, that's right. Good shout, Gregor.
43% in the States, yes.
And a bigger bottle too.
Yeah. Can I ask? This is a Permashelf pick. That means that as soon as it's empty, you replace it. I noticed that you didn't proffer the bottle as we all did.
Oh, aye.
Is that because you didn't have time to go and pick your bottles before you joined?
Yeah, I wasn't that prepared. And I should say, my bottle 1 and 2 were quite interchangeable between the two of them.
No, don't muddy the waters now.
I won't. But
I'll leave it to the lounge to decide whether you should be penalised for your lateness or whether they should be a wee bit lenient on the fact that you are 8 hours behind and you rushed your working day to an end just to join us tonight. So
and don't forget, I protected the golden voice here. I've got a good mic set up. Come on.
It's a fair point and well made, Gregor. Give him an extra point.
I suspect we're all going to start getting a bit more cruel to each other as the evening goes on. Listen, for everyone that's tuning in live, the poll is now running live. You can pick whatever you like. You can pick based on what we are speaking about tonight, whether you resonated with it. But I suspect most of you are going to do what you always do, and you're going to pick, as we have, with your own heart. Either what you would love to have, or what you know to be good, whatever it may be, but the polls are running.
Roy, can I ask a question? Sorry, I know the polls up there also we can't vote for our own.
Yeah, you can absolutely just go and vote for your own.
Or I was going to say,
I voted for Kilkerran. What was that all about?
Well, I was going to say maybe we could vote for something else, not our pick.
No, you do what you like. I mean, there's 344 people in.
You're absolutely.
If it comes down to a single vote, that's fine. I just do. If you can vote for anyone else's pick, you can vote for your own pick. You can participate if you want.
That's fine. I was just trying to be upfront and I'll dive in the box. I'll take that penalty. No problem.
Nothing less from Scotty Monroe. Absolutely.
Can I share? Can I share that as much like in the Euro, there's certain teams other countries don't like, and other countries will then support anyone but that team. I'm happy tonight if I can beat Sev. That's all I'm here for.
You probably will, pal. My somewhat random choices when it comes to kind of big flavors and stuff like that. So I won't be upset if I come last or if I come wherever it is. I hope it resonates with some folk. But yeah, as I said, I'm just excited to see if I get more than one vote.
And the thing is, Seb was looking forward to you being here because Scotty and I are kind of more into these kind of delicate kind of ex-bourbon or refill type flavor profiles.
Aye.
Obviously, Sevy's at the other end. He's looking for the punches. He's looking for the hooks. He's looking for the stuff that grabs you and turns you upside down.
Yep.
So he needed somebody to come in that's looking at the kind of heavier, richer end of the spectrum, which tends to be you, which I think is going to be quite interesting to see how our picks align with that. But what it should do is give us a really, really good mix for the folk watching.
I implore the barflies to break the echo chamber and don't go the Monroe direction.
Exactly.
We all know that's how this could play out.
Of course,
do yourselves a favour.
Just like
break the algorithm.
Just like the general election.
It's like the clean cut Brad Pitt, George Clooney, bourbon cask followers, and then you've got the Zach Galifianakis and the
exactly.
Okay. Honestly, guys,
no fancies.
Listen, no fancies. But what I would say is just buy a bottle of sherry. It's cheaper. If you want to completely mask the taste of the whiskey, You knock yourself out. You leave the good stuff to me and Roy. It's fine. I don't care.
I suspect everybody watching has already worked out how difficult it is going to be for me to herd these other 3 cats on the line. But the banter started, and that's exactly what it's all about. It means that the longer we keep the banter going, the poll stays open for a wee bit. Remember, you have to pick once. You can't change your mind, unfortunately, with the YouTube poll. It's a bit of a pain in the backside. Jimmy Legg is dishing out the dirty, saying Gregor is always auto-penalised. But just a second ago, you also said that if God had access to hair products, he would look like Gregor. Major Nut has bought us a wee good night dram. He said, good night, all been a long day. Have a good summer holiday, Aquaviti, and all the barflies and others. Thank you very much, Major Nut, for your generous dram, my friend. It's always wonderful to have you in. Hope you pick this one up on the replay, my friend. Graham Young in Canada is always saying the best format of the vPub, in my humble opinion. I hope you're all very well, and indeed, dearly loved. Graham Young, it's wonderful to have you. I hope you and the family are doing well, and I hope you're sitting close to your pal Gino at some point in the future, if not tonight. Cheers to you all. Thanks for your generosity. And Fernando is celebrating being a member of Barflies for 17 months, saying 2 days for 18 months as a Barfly. Cheers to you all, and thank you all for your individual support.
Cheers. Scotty, Luna's being your cheerleader. Luna's shouting your name. She's cheerleading you on. I don't know whether it's just you or whether it's the fan of the cast strength. To be fair, I like it too. I think it's good. It's a great shout.
Listen, we've started well. It's interesting to see two Kilkerrans in the lineup, 2 dramatically different Kilkerrans. One Kilkerran that you have to literally drive to the source in order to get, and the other one that is probably the most available core range. Maybe arguably, depending on where you are, maybe the long row peated you could maybe get as well, but the Kilkerran 12-year-old is probably one of the easiest ones to get. Sachin Kent has bought us a wee dram as well. No comment or anything. Just thank you very much, Sachin. I'll give that a wee thank you, buddy. Thank you for dropping in, and thank you for your generosity. All right. I'm going to kill the poll, so if you've not voted, you've got 10 seconds to vote. What happens is 4 points for first place, 3 points for second, and so on. So even 4th place, still a worthy pick, still gets points, hopefully, and we'll tally it up at the end, and that's what we're aiming for tonight. Listen, value will play a part of it. I know I blindsided people when I first tried this platform by bringing value in at the end. I wanted to make a point. I wanted to talk about the fact that we tend to consume our whiskey in an environment where we do have to think carefully before we spend money. And that's always part of it. So when we do these kind of gamification things, I think it has to play a wee part of it. However, over the course of 5 categories that we've got tonight, value is the 6th category. So the maximum points that we can score is 24. And that's if you were to get the best out of all of them and get the best value as well, which would be very difficult, wouldn't it? So you can choose whether to go for the value or choose whether you go for the bangers. I suspect that we've all gone for things that we can actively celebrate. Jesse Artensalo is celebrating being a member for 31 months and saying Ardnamurkin finally available in Finland. Well, that's something to celebrate right there. Fantastic. Okay, let's end.
Jesse, no looking back.
End the poll. Oh, I suspect I've already seen the results of this one. Okay. 39% of, well, let's go. Can you see this, boys? I think you can see this, right?
I can see it, yeah.
In 4th place, we've got the Kilkerran cage bottle. I suspect that's based purely on availability, Sevi.
Sure, I'm fine with that.
In 3rd place, Glenmorangie's it's the perfect example of a Permashelf. It's a Permashelf for me, Gregor, I'll be honest. I think out of the 40%ers that we get in the UK, it is arguably not only the best today, potentially, but it's been consistently the best for as long as I've been drinking it. Mm-hmm. It's incredible. I love the stuff. Ardnamurkin's cast strength, 28% of the vote. Fantastic. So close there, buddy. An absolutely cracking pick. And I suspect maybe you could suggest that it's down to availability, but that maybe doesn't rack up because Kilkerran 12-year-old takes it with 39%. So Kilkerran 12, I'll stick in the points for that right now, and I'll do it in a hurry because I'm quite excited. Ardna cast strength comes second, gets 3 points. Kilkerran cage gets a point, and Glenmorangie gets 2 points, and we're up and running.
Are they going to be discontinuing the Glenmorangie 10 and replacing it with a
it's just been replaced by a 12-year-old.
Oh,
wow. Very, very good thing to bring up, Scotty. Glenmorangie 10 has just been upgraded.
I wasn't sure the Glenmorangie 10
12
would be
years old.
replaced
Yeah.
or not. Okay.
Surely I nudge up a point then, Roy. A wee extra wee courtesy point there as
Well,
well, no?
you need to stock up.
Well, if you'd known about it, you could have said it and put forward as part of your campaign.
Mm.
And then you could have got it. Because you need to get these folk to be voting for you.
Give Gregor a break. He's just finished his work, right?
It's true.
Yes,
Cut him a bit of slack.
that's right. No, well, he's looking for extra points here, Scotty. He's looking for extra points. So,
Roy,
you know.
Roy, Peterhead makes a very, very good point here. It says only 9% of us seem to have ever made it to the cage. So that is a thing that we should champion for the future. That
Do you know what the cage needs?
Down to that cage.
Do you know what the cage needs? More people queuing up for it.
Absolutely. Nothing better than what is it that we said at the festival? We don't queue for whiskey.
We're not queuing for anything.
Yeah,
and that
no
wasn't
queue.
us being snobby or anything. That was Sevi and I making a point that we'd love to get our hands on the whiskies. But if we've got to queue rather than hang out with the people that we don't get to see from one festival to the next otherwise, we're going to hang out with the people. And that was the priority. In the end, I don't think we missed out anything that we wanted to get.
Well, that's another tip for anyone going to the Campbelltown Festival. If you don't forget about Springbank Day, going for your bottles at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock in the morning, because you'll have a queue like a snake that will take you an hour and a half to get there. You rock up at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you'll walk straight to the front, and the guy will go, "What do you want?"
That's right. That's right.
Don't queue, don't rush it.
It's all in the tone. It's all
flow.
in the tone, Seth. It sounds like they could go, "What do you want?"
What do you want? That's it.
Yeah.
You win.
That's it.
Yeah,
But,
go with the flow.
there's no need
Enjoy
to
it. Yeah.
So we've got things up and running. Are you ready to just kick on and go out for the second category? I think
let's
I
go.
am.
Yes.
But this means that Scotty's up first for this one. And the next category is going to be something that's hopefully pretty easy to interpret. It's that idea that you are in charge of hosting some folk. You're looking for a crowd pleaser. You're looking for something that's going to be able to cover all bases, something that you can talk positively about and explain what it is, share it with everyone, and hopefully win over the majority of the room. That is the definition of the crowd pleaser. So I think what we're going to do for this one is get Scotty to kick this one off, and he can lead the campaign for his crowd pleaser. Take it away.
Okay, thank you, Roy. Right, there's been quite a lot of talk about Campbelltown and Kilkerran, so let's just break the mold a little bit and go something else. This is a bottle that I picked up the first release when it first came out, and I get it as every time I can, not available all the time, but forget all about that stuff about Campbelltown and go instead for the Kilkerran 16-year-old. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. No messing about here, guys. Okay, so the 16-year-old, when it came out, I seem to remember it was, I think a lot of people were a bit disappointed about it. I think people were expecting a bit more smack in your face like you get with the 12-year-old. But this is I know they mix up the components of it, but this to me is just a beautiful, elegant, is it a quiet malt? Probably not a quiet malt, but it's got everything you want from a Campbelltown whiskey. It's got a bit of funk in it. It's got that lovely, there's a bit of effervescence about it as well. It's 46%, but I think that's perfect for it. I don't think it suffers for that at all. I just think it's a beautiful kickback whiskey, contemplative whiskey. And if you're coming into my house, I would give you this as you came in the door, and we would share a bottle, and we just take the top right off the bottle and just get it tanned. It's a belter of a bottle, and I think it's Roy's good shout with the 12-year-old, because that is a cracking whiskey as well. The 16 to me is a bit more elegant. It's a little bit more rounded, a little bit more volume to it. It's one of my favourite whiskies. It almost would have made the Permashelf, but obviously you just can't get it all the time. But if you go to Campbelltown, they'll have it in the shop more often than not. But if you see a Kilkerran 16 anywhere and it's a decent price, I totally recommend it. I don't think you'll be disappointed. So I would say my second pour would be the 60-year-old Kilkerran.
Are we talking
Yeah.
65 quid that, Scotty?
I think it's £65, 60, 65, yep, round about then.
16-year-old fully natural Campbelltown whiskey for £65. That's it. I'm there. It's enough. But you're right. It is a wee bit. You're spot on, Scotty. It's a wee bit quiet. It's a bit subtle. Spend a bit of time with it. It is just gorgeous.
It's a cracker. It's one of my favourites. I absolutely love it. It's brilliant.
Here I am shouting for somebody else's whiskey, but
thanks, Roy. Go for it. Keep talking. It's fine. It's all good.
It's hard to. I think it's going to be a hard one to budge, but we'll give it over to Sevi to see if he can manage it. Go ahead, Sevi. Give us your pick for whatever your crowd pleaser is.
Right. So after doing so well, I don't want to say badly in the first round. Like, this could have also been my Permashelf. So I found this quite difficult, but this for me is one that I would be absolutely happy to give to anyone who came around just as a crowd pleaser. Everyone loves it. And I think this for me, across the whole range, is some of the best bang for buck whiskey that you can get. So the one I've chosen is the Signatory Vintage non-chill filtered range Klein Leash. This is 11 years old, but it's between 10 and 12 years old. Now, there's loads of these. There's loads of them available. They're at loads of shops. They retail between 35 to 45 odd pounds. It'll get a wee bit more expensive now. But for me, this bottle, the unchill filtered range, Klein Leash. Now, it doesn't even matter about being Klein Leash. It can be Knock Do. It can be Tanninic. The unchill filtered range from Signatory Vintage is amazing. And it is an absolute crowd pleaser for me. But specifically this one, the Klein Leash, 2008 vintage. I don't think you can go wrong with it. It's waxy. It's not too strong. It's an easy drinker. People that come in will just enjoy it. I can't see anyone trying this and not enjoying it. And that's it.
Sevi, let me ask you, buddy, is that the one that you shared on the train through to Edinburgh?
No. That, my friend, is this one. Now, again, this is slightly more expensive. This is the reason why I obviously went for the one that's between 35, 40 pounds. Now, this, again, the unchill filter range, but this is 1996. Sorry, I'll turn that around.
Yeah.
That's 21 years old and is possibly one of the best Klein Leashes I've ever had.
Of course.
1996, 21, bottled in 2018. Cask number 11377. This is Doc's Basement's Klein Leash. It literally is. Well, Scotty, you got to try it in Campbelltown. It really was.
It's a belter. It's great.
An amazing dram. So much so that a certain member of the Springbank team stopped drinking the Springbank and started drinking the Klein Leash. So that's all.
It's a good pick, mate.
I'll say we have to remember how good. I mean, Sevi's picked up at my encouragement there a much older one, in 1995, but it just shows the breadth of the unchill filtered range from Signatory, right? Yeah. What he was talking about for his crowd pleaser is actually an entry level 40, 50 quid type product, fully natural whiskey. That it doesn't matter whether you pick up a Glenord, a Duffton, a Klein Leash, a Tanninic. It doesn't matter what it is. It's going to be that price, and it's going to be fantastic drinking whiskey. That we've still got that available to purchase today. Don't get caught up in cask numbers. Don't get caught up on distilleries. Just enjoy the fact that we've got that natural whiskey at that price point today. It's fair play to you, Severin. Well done.
Yep,
well, just as an example, they released a Knock Do, I think, a few months ago, and it was like 35 quid, and it was 12 years old, 46%. And I bought one. I've cracked it open, and it's magic. I've got to tell you, it's probably the range of bottles that I have the most of in the collection, opened and trying and enjoying and spreading around with all my friends and stuff like that.
Yep.
So, superb, buddy. Jimmy Legg has just mentioned that Gregor's chair was making a contribution every bit as valid as Gregor's. He's always dishing out the fork tongue stuff. Sometimes it's me that suffers from it, buddy, but you're here tonight to take a wee bit of the heat too. Fantastic. Very funny as well, Jimmy. I'm going to just punt it straight on to Gregor now that you're back. Are you comfortable? Are you okay to take it, buddy?
A wee bit out of breath, but let's go for it.
I can go.
No. It's all good. It's all good.
Don't go out of turn.
No, you're good.
Bring on McQuee for McQuee's take on the crowd pleaser.
So crowd pleaser. I think generally the start of I see this as a flight almost, or a collection, like you say. the first few, you'd be wrong to set somebody off on a quest they can't complete or chase. And I feel anything Springbank or anything, a lot of Campbelltown, as good as it is, negates that. It negates that as a brief. Imagine getting something at a dinner party to then only find it's really difficult to get. And I think that's cruel. And only the embittered dark heart of a whiskey evangelist would do that to another whiskey drinker. And I would say, I thought pretty broadly when you think about crowd pleaser, that's all of us aficionados, but it's way broader than that. It's people who are just starting as well. So you don't want to scare them off. And I've found a few times now, I've tried a whiskey with people that I think they're actually whiskey curious, and it fell flat for whatever reason. It was too one thing. It was too extreme. So I think that coloured the brief for me. Much like Sev, this choice for me could have been the Permashelf as well. So within that context of like not jarring too far in one direction, but setting them up on their path, I think about a bottle that unlocked an area of taste and profile that was pretty difficult to get into the peated world, right? I think bourbon maybe doesn't set you up for that. And sherry, it's probably setting you up on the wrong path. So for me, I picked a bottle that's probably going to please everybody there and potentially unlock. And for me, that has to be the Clynleash 14.
Leash.
It's not overly peated. It's going to, if you're just peat curious, it's enough. I think Kilkerran's probably going to be too much if you're not into that. If you're sherried, I think this still keeps you in the right realm of kind of sweetness. Maybe not quite as extreme as a PX or that, but that's my case. Clynleash 14.
It's a good shout, Gregor.
I think it's not a bad shout. You won't get a lot of arguments with it.
Two Clynleashes back to back.
Two Clynleashes back to back. We're seeing a bit of a theme here, but amazingly quite different takes on Clynleash. We've got something that tries to be as consistent as it possibly can. And of course, it's single malt whiskey, so it isn't. That's Diageo's official 14-year-old. Still affordable in the UK, boys. It's 55 quid. Thereabouts. You can often get it on special offer. I recently saw it for £38 a bottle.
Cracking drop.
I bought it at £38. I couldn't not, for the very reason that Gregor's talking about. It is a bit of a crowd pleaser. It is. It definitely is.
At a time when other Clynleash is increasingly unaffordable, that's the one that we can still get. Certainly here at a decent price. The price everyone else is going through the roof.
I'm in for that for as long as it lasts, but keep the quality good, please, Diageo. Keep it as good as you can.
Yes.
Keep it as good as it can be. Listen, I saw your wee bug, your wee icon up in the top flashing there, Gregor. And I think it starts to freak out when you're not getting to the point. It starts to flash. So
I see. You're waffling.
I'm sure it will happen for me too. I'm sure it will happen. I'm going to put forward.
I wish I had control. I wish I could do that. You should start talking.
I'm going to share this one with everybody. I'm sipping it now on the back of that Kilkerran 12. It's hitting the spot. It's fantastic. My pal Keith, his 50th birthday yesterday. Many happy returns, Keith McFilly, man. I'm looking forward to partying with you very, very soon. I took a bottle of this along to his party yesterday, as well as gifting him something really, really nice. But this was the kind of amuse-bouche. This was the appetizer. This is how I was just going to bring a bottle and leave it and not take it home again. Everybody that sipped this loved it, and then commented later as we went through lots of other whiskies last night how much this held up. And how about I tell you that I please the crowd by saying this whiskey is this good for £35 a bottle. It's gorgeous stuff. It's not going to be around forever, but it's there for everyone who cares to bother to get a bottle of it right now. This is Thompson Brothers TBBSW. I know that you're tired of me raving about this whiskey. I know you're tired of me evangelizing about it. It's now a permanent fixture on the shelf behind me. I love this so much. I predict that there's going to be a point in the future, hopefully not too near in the future, that we'll look back on a bottle of whiskey this quality that we could buy for £35, and we'll shed a wee tear that we can't get it anymore. But I'm telling you right now, this is available to everyone. Don't let the words blended Scotch whiskey put you off, because legally this is a blend, but on every other aspect, this is full-on Scotch whiskey.
Flashing logo.
This is gorgeous stuff. Absolutely gorgeous stuff. £35. And it will please all crowds.
Yep, it's a good shout.
It will not be here forever, folks, but it's here just now. It's here just now. I can now launch the poll. Vote away. Please jump in and share your votes for either Coquerin 16, Signatories, Unchauffeured Clynelish 14, or the Thompson Brothers TB BSW 6-year-old as well. I wish I could talk about what we believe to be in that Thompson Brothers bottle, but I don't think it's cool. So unless there's an official thing on a website somewhere or whatever, we shall keep it stum, unless somebody's willing to officialize it. Chris Brown is saying, brilliant choice, Aquavite. Thank you, Chris. Are you Gregor's pal? Thank you, buddy. I have about 4 or 5 of them in the cupboard. He's stashing these because he knows that they're going to run out. Multi-Mission is saying Permashelf, Inchburn 12, Crowd Pleaser, Indri Trini, don't let anyone tell you differently. So that's what Menno would have been picking if he was jumping in to take place of any of the missing bottle chasers. Decent picks as well.
Yep.
Greg's Whiskey Guide, Greg in Paris, good to see you, buddy. Oh, nice one, Roy. You do speak French. Is that right? What did I say that was French?
I can't. Do you know what? I kind of feel like up against Roy here, Gregor, Scotty, that like Roy is like the Tony Cruz of this game.
Yes.
And he's just marshalling everybody.
Just ducking and weaving.
Yeah.
He's only picking out comments that reinforce his choice. I had
that's
chat
not
lit up when I was on.
Yes.
I'll hear none of your
Ryan
crap.
Porteous.
I'll hear none of your crap. I'm not the Tony Cruz. I'm going to be the guy with the blue shirt and the yellow and red card in the top pocket, okay? I've got control of the mute buttons, so I'll hear none of your nonsense unless it's justified.
I think this voting's nonsense. It's like a postal vote. I think we need proper paper votes, right? Because there could be corruption happening here. I don't know. Just saying.
Let's not. I know we don't talk about packaging often, but can you imagine? Who you're going to be? The crowd are going to be really pleased seeing that. That's classy. They're not going to understand it. They're not going to understand that as a label, as a bottle. Come on, it's all about that.
Well, if we're going to talk about packaging, unfortunately, I don't think I can put my hands on it right now. Thompson Brothers packaging, but have you seen the? It doesn't matter. I'm going to grab it because they don't care about packaging. And I suggest.
Come
on, I need 1%. People, give me 1%. Come on, come on.
I just voted for you, Gregor. I just voted for you.
Egg on the poll. Here's another shout for the Thompson Brothers. If there's a time that you need to know that these guys focus on the liquid and really they don't care to the point of abuse what the bottle looks like, this is their latest creation.
Oh, that's great.
It's a thing of beauty.
Tesco Value, obviously a nod to Tesco Value range, supermarket generic labels, that type of stuff. This is 8-year-old made up of 50% Glenord, 50% Clynelish, more or less. And look at this. I've had it in the house less than a week.
Every time Roy talks, that 1%. Every time Roy talks, that 1% goes the other way.
Sorry, I'll shut up now. Do you want me to kill it? Do you want me to kill it?
No, just wait till the leash is where it should.
Are you and I duking it out right now?
Yeah. Right, freeze it now. Here we go. Pause it now. There we go.
Yeah, it's been.
Nope. You took too long.
No one's going up.
I'm seeing Clynelish winning. I'm
just seeing the votes. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Winning.
Listen, if Clynelish 14 wins it, I don't think anybody's got any argument with it. And and if I'm not. Can I click on that and see? I can click on it and see. Yeah. Oh wow, yeah, it's very, very close. There you're 2%, 2% ahead. No, 1% ahead. Okay, I'm going to give you all 10 seconds to get your votes in. Currently, Signatory Unchauffeured Clynelish is bringing up the rear. Coquerin 16 in third. Thompson Brothers TBBSW 6-year-old in second place. And Clynelish. So if you want to support the big conglomerate monster that is Diageo, or support the big
No. That's not how it works.
Okay, I'll end poll. I'll do it
You
now.
you can't be doing that. That
Politics,
behaviour. That's
then.
a red card. They ain't got a red card.
The poll is ended. The poll is finished. So we should be able to catch up with the results for that one, and I can plug it into the spreadsheet here. Great stuff. So Signatory Unchill Filtered gets a wee point for Sevi. A point goes in there.
I cannot believe that that's come last.
I know, but I think it's to do with potentially availability or whatever, or maybe people's not connected with it yet. Hopefully,
Really?
you're helping that case right now, Sevi. Kilkerran 16 gets 2 points. Thompson TBBSW gets 3 points, and the Klein Leash gets 4 points. Fantastic stuff. Listen, there hasn't been a dud proffered yet.
That's true.
Fantastic. All right, well, we keep it rolling, Scotty.
Well, I need to quickly take my dog out.
You've
Right.
got as long as it takes us to go through 3 bottles.
But this is pre-programmed. So what to do, Scotty, is you can I'll drop you out, or it's up to you. But I'll look for you coming back in again. I'll look for the wee window moving. You don't need to just mute your mic and off you go, and we'll
Okay, I won't be
watch
long.
for you coming
Bring
back in,
Menno in.
right?
Bring Menno in to
Menno in.
pitch his case.
Yeah.
Perfect. Even better.
Right, I won't be long.
See you in a bit. Menno, give me a thumbs up if you want to drop in and just add to the banter while we're talking about this. Is there any red or yellow cards that you would throw at us, Menno? Is there anything that you have decided?
All great choices. I particularly like how Sevi takes things in a different direction. Excellent.
Thanks, Menno.
But that's to spend time in his company. That's life with Sevi, if I'm honest. That's
Going in a different direction. Yeah.
You're not going to see a lot of let's just say distillery bottlings in my selections. I'm very much an indie bottle sort of guy, so that's just me. If that's what you like, that's what you get.
Yeah, I think Scotty picked a great bottle with the Kilkerran 16, but for the wrong category.
Interesting. Crowd pleaser, right? But I think what it does is it betrays the nature, the gentleman that is Scotty Munro, right? Because as he said, if you turned up at his house, the type of guy that he is, that's what he'd be pouring for you. I'd be pouring you a 35 quid bottle, but one that I can be proud of and love and evangelize about it. And obviously recommend that you go and buy it at £35. Scotty would be tucking into his unobtainium Kilkerran 16, right? And sharing that. So I think it speaks about the personality and about the individual characters as well, which I suspect is going to continue to be a theme, Menno. Your pick was Indre for your crowd pleaser.
Yep. Also a 35, 40 quid bottle.
Well, Sevi was at a tasting with me in Glasgow in front of 60 people, and we witnessed that thing win the room.
Yeah, it was great.
There you go.
Really,
the cheapest whiskey in the lineup. The
if
world
that
whiskey
doesn't
in the lineup.
Crowd pleaser, then what does?
Exactly.
It certainly pleased the crowd.
Yep, exactly that. Right, okay. Who's going to go first this time? I guess Scotty's away, so it's going to be Sevi. You're up first. Are you okay with that?
Yes, number 3. So number 3, my Decadent Pour. Now, okay, right, let's get that. Where are we? Oh, we're over here. Right.
Have you found it?
I found it. Clink, clink, clink. That's yeah, right. So this is the Decadent Pour. Do I go by the Oscars thing of me when I flash, I need to round it up?
Well, what I should probably do is I'll clarify a wee bit what the Decadent Pour actually means. This channel is founded on, it's not whiskey until it's shared. We all get together, we enjoy these brilliant whiskies. And then eventually at some point in the night, the whiskies fade into the background and we're enjoying the company and the people and everything that it brings. It's fantastic. But honestly, it's okay to be sitting in front of the TV. It's okay to be sitting in front of a tasting book. It's okay to be sitting on your own and being blown away by having a dram of whiskey. So when you're in that situation, when you're indulging yourself, when you're treating yourself, it might be you're with company or it might be that you're on your own. This is what it is. Your Decadent Pour, something that you're going to treat yourself with. That's exactly what this is meant to be. Take it away, Severin.
So I'm pouring it right now. This is my Decadent Pour. And to be honest. And I would love to share this with as many people as I can. Now, this is something which, yes, it is. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very, very difficult to get a hold of. But if you ever get a chance to get a hold of one of these, you will not be disappointed. Literally blew Scotty Monroe off his feet when he tried this in Campbelltown. And my decadent pour for myself is a 1995 Imperial from Signature Vintage Cask Strength Collection at 54.9%. And this, for me, is one of the best whiskies I've tasted in my life. It really is an unbelievable dram. Imperial as a distillery is one of my favourites. It has a lot of kind of, for me, similar characteristics to Rosebank, to Daft Mill, in a sense. But this in a kind of, it just says matured in hogsheads. It's just unbelievable. It really is. It's just everything that you want in a whiskey. I almost kind of don't want to pour too much of it because I want to spend a bit of time with it. I know we've got to get through loads of different categories, but Imperial, you're not getting any more of it. If you can get yourself any form of Imperial, I would thoroughly suggest somebody or anybody tries their best to get a hold of at least one. Doesn't matter what age it is. Doesn't matter what it is. It's not too expensive still. You'll mostly have to pick them up at auction, but it is
Flashing
well
logo.
worth it.
Flashing logo.
That's it. Yep, I'm done.
Superb.
It really is.
Sevi, you've not let me try that yet.
Did you?
Self-indulgent was the brief.
That's right.
Did you not try in Campbelltown?
As if to define it. No. Did you have that in Campbelltown with you? You did, didn't you?
That was the one that we opened in Campbelltown, and Scotty literally sat down and didn't speak for about 15 minutes. Which is, do you not remember?
That says a lot about Campbelltown.
Yeah.
So I have already tried it.
Yeah, especially after his monologue with the generation thing as well. But honestly, Imperial, anyone that has a chance to try it, and I will gladly, if I can, if anyone's about.
There was a time just before lockdown, buddy, where you and I were discussing Good Spirits Company had 25-year-old Imperial from Single Malts of Scotland for £155, and I remember us actively talking about we will look back on the day where we could pick up 25-year-old Imperial for £155. I was glad to have picked up a bottle of that. Absolutely fantastic stuff, and I don't doubt for a second that wee Signature Vintage bottle is every bit as good. Apologies if I tried it in Campbelltown. We tried everything that we put in our mouths was smashing, right? Yeah. It was ridiculous. It was really hard to keep up. But a wee dram come in from my pal, Don Keydonk. Don, that's the first time I think I've ever welcomed you in here. Bought me a wee dram. It's just celebrating a 1-year anniversary of some description, or maybe a first. But Don, it's fantastic to have you here, and it's fantastic to have your support. Thank you, buddy. Cheers. Tim Donnerpass Whiskey also has bought me a dram to say, hoping to see that Thompson Brothers blue and white stripe bottle with Klein Leash make it over here. I have plenty of the Thompson Brother BSW laid down. Have a great summer. Thank you very much, Tim. Hope you're not working too hard, buddy. And Don as well has bought me another dram to say my decadent pour is Altmore 18 in my glass now. Cheers. It's been a wee while since I've had an Altmore 18. I suspect it's an absolute banger, Don. But Tim, Don, thank you very much for your generosity. Enjoy your summers too. Cheers. All right, Sevi, well done. We're moving then on to Mr. McQuee for his decadent pour. Take it away, Gregor, when you're ready.
Yep. All good. So Decadent Pour, the brief is very self-indulgent, something you treat just yourself. So that coloured the brief for me. While I still want to try and put something out there that people can get, I don't want to go into unobtainium. That's generally, I don't want to go into unobtainium. This is a bottle that I do have to limit myself with. It's so good. It's Moorish. But it comes out once a year, so it's not finite, or rather, it will come around again. I'm waffling. In its notes, it even has the word decadent. So I think that has to nudge me another couple of percentage. It says decadent with sun-dried fruits and smoky exotic spices. It's, for me, the perfect blend of two worlds, which pushes it into a decadent world. Those being peated and sherried. I am, of course, talking about a spirit that has been fully matured in sherry, but with a smoky new make, and that bottle would be the Cuboken 15. It's beyond self-indulgent. It's still attainable. It's affordable. It's under £100. You won't get a 15-year-old fully matured sherry product of this quality at 50% for a better price.
Points deducted for sealed bottle.
It's the other one's open. This is the first one I got.
Is that the first version or the second version?
This is 23. I've got the prior year still open. I've rinsed one, and I've still got the other open.
The 22 is lights out, as Scotty Monroe says. 23 is very good, but the 22 is spellbinding.
I agree with you, Sebi. I just remember that out of nowhere, we'd been enjoying, non-age-stated Cuboken, whether it was their signature, whatever. All these kind of cask releases, they're just, lots of different takes on a lightly peated Highland style, and we've been quite enjoying it. And then out of nowhere, they have an age-stated, full maturation in sherry, peated 15-year-old. Incredible. The first one that came out in 2022, as you say, it was lights out. It was 90 quid. 15-year-old felt it was a bit pricey, sipped it, bought a bottle on the spot. Incredible.
Do you not remember this? That was one of the essence of the Bottlechasers mantra, was like, I'd phoned you and said, like, I've just tried this Cuboken 15 and it's insane. And it was at the Good Spirits Company. That was like one of those random bottles, and you're like, I could probably be in there in about 45 minutes. And you went and you bought one straight away, and you were just like, bang, it almost made your whiskey of the year. From memory, maybe. Is that right?
Yeah.
Maybe? Almost?
Yeah, it was a contender.
It was certainly a contender, because it was a late entry, but it almost made the... it was maybe second or third, I'm not sure, in your whiskey of the year. Certainly.
I'll throw out as well that both Jimmy and Petehead were throwing out Teapot as a guess. And while that is decadent and self-indulgent, I don't feel right putting anyone on that path now.
Yeah.
It's beyond what it was now.
About 8, 10, 11-year-old whiskey, it's got quite pricey now. What is it, 130, 120?
140.
140.
Yeah.
Okay, so price is part of it. Listen, Whiskey Hog's made a good point, and we're all going to wax lyrical, as we should be encouraged to do, about the whiskies that we love, and it's all very much based on what we can get hold of. But Whiskey Hog is saying the vote will be based solely on the sales pitches, as undoubtedly all options will be unavailable in Australia. It's fantastic to have people watching from Australia, from New Zealand, from wherever, from all over, from far reaches of the planet. But that won't be the issue here. The vote will be based on either people that have tried it or people that love it. But yes, you're absolutely right, Whiskey Hog. Depending on where you are, you might not be able to get hold of a lot of the bottles that we're talking about tonight. Don't think about the bottle. Don't think about individual expressions. Think about the concept. Think about the reason that we fall in love with it. Think about the profile. Think about the distillery, the bottler, the brand, whatever it may be. Think about it in much more broad brush terms. But I'll raise this glass to Whiskey Hog and everybody out there that is watching this and feeling the pangs of FOMO that we all feel simply because we're celebrating something that you can't get a hold of. May you all have your dreams in your glasses. Cheers. Cheers, Whiskey Hog.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's a dynamic of what we face in whiskey, and I don't think it should stop us talking about the whiskies that we love. Is it my shout for this section? I think it is. Scotty's back. He's back in his seat, but I'll take this one away knowing that he's back, and I'll try and keep it to less than a minute this time. What's the chances? Good to shout.
On we go, Tony Cruz. On we go.
All right. I'm going to thank two people for this one. I'm going to thank my pal Severin. Craig Sevi brought this one to my attention, and he brought it to me at such a price I couldn't say no to it, but I didn't have the money. I couldn't buy it, and my wife said, "Get it. I'll let you have it." This was a bottle that went on sale during lockdown, bizarrely, at SMWS. The reason that Sevi reached out to me, he knew it was a distillery that I loved, and he liked the whiskey, he liked the way it was presented. This is incredible stuff. When I'm talking about indulging me, if it's just going to be me that's going to come into this room that's literally littered, every wall is dripping with whiskey, and I'm like, I'm only going to have one dram. What can I have? What am I going to just sit and contemplate? And it's something like this. 30-year-old Anok. I want you to look at the specs on this. Refill ex-bourbon barrel. This is from 15th of February, 1990. 43.2% ABV. Now, this is natural cask strength. No dilution has happened here, so it's arrived at that 43.2% completely naturally. All the concentration of flavors and everything is still in here. This is the most delicate, the most subtle, the most... I have literally shed tears while sipping from this bottle, to the point that when it came to my birthday, my wife went back to Craigseverin again and said, can you get Roy another bottle of that 30-year-old whatever was on sale? It wasn't on sale anymore. It was full price. And fortunately for me, I've still got this much left in the bottle. I don't know if you can see through that. It's sitting about here, this level, because my wife was able to go out and get me another one. She saw how this impacted me. There are people tuned in tonight that have sipped this. I've put samples in your hands. I've been able to pour some in your glass or whatever. And I know the way that you fall silent when you sip this. You know exactly what I'm talking about. When it was on sale, it was £115, not cheap. But for 30-year-old whiskey, that's incredibly good value. But it was a 50% sale. When my wife bought the second bottle, it was £230. So thank you to my wife. Thank you to Sevi. If we're talking about self-indulgent pours, I'm going to go to a distillery that I've grown to love. I'm going to go to a refill bourbon barrel, and I'm going to talk about something that's been given the time to reach its perfection in a refill barrel. This can only happen in places like Scotland, nowhere else. Cheers, everyone.
That is a dram, brother. That is a dram. Such a good bottle, that.
Do you notice how little I poured as well?
Nah.
Yeah.
It's like the last poppadom at a shared curry dinner. You keeps making it smaller and smaller. You're splitting it.
I tell you what, guys, 3 unbelievably good drams. So different.
As should be the case. We're indulging ourselves, right? Menno, my friend, thank you for participating with us and keeping I keep saying good night to you tonight. I keep saying goodbye.
It's almost like you're afraid of the quiz.
Nobody's leaving. Menno's not leaving. I am absolutely afraid of the quiz, buddy. I'll see you very shortly, my friend. See you soon. Scotty's sorted his dog out. Everything's good. Let's get it back in the order it was in so that I can keep track of what's happening. Is that right? Is that the way it was? No, Gregor was over here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's it. So what have I missed?
Oh, nothing. We've all put forward absolute terrible choices, Scotty. So I think this is yours to just clean up and take it.
Okay.
I'll let you catch up.
Okay.
Sevi put forward a 1995.
No, wait.
Signature.
No. Is that the one we had in Campbelltown, Sevi?
That's the one, pal. That's the one that literally knocked you on your backside.
And the Kuboken. Is that the 15, Gregor?
Yeah.
Sevi, that's the... I don't know what to say about that bottle. I'm going to vote for you. Because that bottle's mental. I need that bottle in my life, and I will have to break into your house and grab it.
Pal,
thank you, guys.
You're
Good
always
pours.
welcome to. You're always welcome. Even though it's a self-indulgent dram, like as much as it is a self-indulgent jam, anyone is welcome to one.
No, it's great. I think I bullied you into opening that in Campbelltown on that Friday night.
It was always going to be, but that's the best thing about it, because anyway, it's your choice. You go for it. You go.
Okay. Well, those are 3 pretty good pours. I don't know if I can live up to it, but here we go. Right. So going from Roy's 30-year-old, I'm taking the age statements kind of way back down. Now, this bottle came out in 2018. It was part of Diageo's special releases. It was a time, I think 2017 was the time when the prices started going, kind of getting a wee bit unreasonable. In 2017, 2018, was kind of the same. But there was one bottle that I got, and I loved it. And I've had another bottle since then. This is the special release 2018 Talisker 8-year-old. Coming in at a whopping 59.4% ABV. This bottle, again, you can't get it now, but I would check, before I came on tonight, I checked the auctions in the UK, and it goes routinely for between 120 and 130 quid. At the time it came out, it was about 80, I think, something like that. Expensive for an 8-year-old whiskey, but it's a fantastic whiskey. It's so, for an 8-year-old, it's so layered. It's got smoke. Again, the smoke's a background seasoning for me. Lots of fruit going on. I think the following year they released a Talisker 15-year-old, which is also a cracker, really good as well. Different character completely. But there's something in Talisker I get, and maybe people in the UK of a certain age will know it. There used to be kind of sweets used to get, they were love heart shaped, but they were kind of crystallized strawberry flavour with a kind of fondant centre. And I get that kind of strawberry raspberry kind of thing on it as well in the background. If you see this at auction and it's not crazy, and can I say the prices have been coming down considerably over the last year or so. It used to be up to £300. So now for 120, I would totally recommend it for that. Even though it's 8-year-old, forget with the E-statement, it's an absolute corker of a whiskey. Probably the best Talisker I've ever had in my life. And I love Talisker as well as a distillery. But it's a belter. And this is my second and final bottle, and I just take small bits out of it, pours it out every so often. So yeah, Talisker 8-year-old, 2018, Diageo special release is my third pick.
I'd have to say, when we talked about that overlap earlier, Scotty, here it is again. It's betraying itself. I remember, I don't even think I felt shame talking loudly about that back in the day when that first came out, 2018, that Talisker. It was just so loved. And I remember the special releases hanging about on the shelf even back then.
Yep.
But that Talisker disappeared far too fast.
Yeah, it went quick.
It went very, very quickly. It was a decent price, as you say, 85 quid, I think.
And it's a lot for an 8-year-old. I mean, I remember buying it and thinking, am I sure about this?
I know, same as me, but I think both of us probably bought it on the back of trying it first.
Well, I went in blind.
Wow.
I think I maybe heard someone talking about it. I can't remember. But I do remember that on the bus to the Five Whisky Festival, was it last year, Roy, you brought your bottle along and you popped it on the bus, got up to Fife, as well as to give a lot of people a chance to try it. But it's just such a great Talisker. It gets better as the bottle goes down. It's full of that kind of dark chocolate. You know when you have a really dark chocolate and it goes kind of raspberry flavour?
Is he still selling this? Is he still doing this?
No. I'm talking about another Talisker 8-year-old.
Right, the poll's live. The poll's live now. So
to be fair, like that bus to the Five Whisky Festival, like the Five Whisky Festival has some cracking drams at it, but that bus in itself is like another whiskey festival.
Insanity. And I think that what we often find is that when you're having that kind of self-decadent, when you're sitting on your own, you get a chance to just bond with the whiskey completely. What's interesting is when you're on a bus to Five Whisky Festival with a bunch of other whiskey geeks, how these things hold up. And I remember on the way to the festival, Sevi, the Talisker 8 was banging. And on the way back, you and I struggled with it. I don't know if we were all just kind of whiskied out or whatever, but we're just like, I've since gone back to that bottle and it's right back to what Scotty's talking about as well. Again, Scotty, I'm the same as you. I'm very, very parsimonious with that one. I just take tiny wee pours out of it. I suspect I might not be replacing it, but I love it. I love it while it's here. I would love Talisker to bring more of that kind of style of stuff to us.
They did release another 8-year-old. It was just not the same. It just
rum
was
cask?
not. Yeah, the rum cask one.
Yeah. For me, that bottle you've just said there is the best special release I've had in the last 7 or 8 years.
I'm going to see, we're talking about special releases. In the same year, they has released the Collectivum 28, which has got drams from all 28 of their distilleries with a healthy glug, a Klein leash, and it's a belter. You can get it at retail for 160 quid. At auction, you can get it for about 80 quid. So that's another tip, and it's a stoker.
It's a blended malt whiskey. Don't let it put you off. It's an absolute banger, as Scotty says.
It's amazing.
All 28 of their operational distilleries, which included Rosebank for the first time ever. The first time ever that Diageo talked about it, let's say. Greg's Whiskey Guide in Paris is saying, because you were convincing, Roy, and God bless Lynn, I voted for your Anok 30. Greg, I'll take your vote, my friend. Thank you so much. See, Aquavite, whiskey can ruin whiskey. Honestly, Jimmy, that never a truer word has been said. Too much of anything is bad, right? Whiskey can ruin whiskey. Matt Horsham is saying, it's time to turn in. See you on the flip side, Aquavite. Have a great few weeks in Slancha. Slancha to you, Matt. Be nice to see you back here after the summer, buddy. Sleep well. Multi-Mission is saying, I would have picked Anok 24 any day, but as I don't have that at the moment, I've picked Armoric 15. Oily, waxy, fruity, nutty, rich, subtle, and a dash of peat, and it's brilliant. Listen, if it's anything like a progression from its 10-year-old sister, I'm right there with you. That Armoric 10 was a fantastic. You might remember the Six Nations vPub that we did early in the year. The Armoric took the plaudits, and it was an absolute banger. Fantastic. Okay, everyone, we're going to close the vote on this one. I think it's pretty settled this time. We've got a clear winner. We've got... it's not changing too much. Get your votes in now. 5 or 10 seconds to go before we kill it off. But it's looking like coming in holding up the rear for a point is the Talisker 8-year-old Diageo Special Release. Third place is My Knock Do 30-year-old. In second place, Kuboken 15. And in first place is Sevy's Imperial taking the plaudits. Well, we stop the poll there. There's nothing going to change from that. Let's end the poll now.
I voted for that Imperial. I didn't. Obviously, I missed Sevy. I missed your talk about it, and Gregor, yours as well. I missed those two, so I need to look back in the replay and see.
But to be honest, guys, all 4 of those drams, like, I would be happy as a Decadent Pour. They really are. Like even the first 2 categories as well. There's not been a bad dram, and like that's why I love you guys so much, because like I know that we do connect. We do have slight nuances in our taste and things like that, but we always bring, like, I forgot about that Talisker 8, but what a dram that is. And also that 30-year-old Anok, just brilliant. All of them just ace drams.
I know the voting's over now, but that Talisker, I'm sipping it just now, and it's so rich. That's the thing. It's so rich compared to the other ones as well. Like, but
if I remember well, it was either First Fill Bourbon or Dechar Rechar, was it?
Yeah, I can't remember. It doesn't say in the bottle, typically.
It does. It says on the label, and just under the very small writing, no, Scotty, you might need to get the magnifier out. But
and my glasses on, which don't work.
It was quite active bourbon casks, which is why it worked so well, I think, at 8 years old.
Oh, yes, you're right. It just says from First Fill ex-Bourbon American Oak. Deep charred. It says from Deep Charred, First Fill ex-Bourbon American Oak.
Deep Char. I knew it was something.
What a surprise that I like that, eh? There you go.
Superb. Right. Let's get rid of this. We're done with our Decadent Pours. Now we're going to, rather than look after ourselves, we're going to rather look after other people. This is the VIP Pour. Impress your guests. Also a scenario where if you were turning up at somebody's and you knew they were a whiskey lover or a whiskey hound or something, you would want to take something along that could really impress them. Maybe you could get your geek on and just kind of wallow in just how fantastic the whiskey is for a wee bit. So this is certainly something that you're going to pour, and the person that's receiving it is going to feel like they've been treated specially. I think it's Gregor up first to take this one away first. Are you okay to carry that one, Gregor? You're okay to take it?
Yep. Yeah, I thought I was first last, but yeah, let's go for it.
Oh, were you first? No, Sev was first last time, no?
All right. I was first last time.
Tiny bother.
I might be wrong.
No, you're good.
Take it away, my friend. Tell us and share what your VI pour would be. If we turned up at your house, what would you be pouring for us?
The VIP pour. So I think here you have to touch everything. I know we don't like talking about packaging, but the ceremony of the bottle I've picked has to match the brief, and that the person feels pretty special when this comes out. You're flashing already. What the deal? What's that all about? And you know, it's probably maybe there's 2 or 3 bottles that could have been what I would have picked here. Everyone was saying Deanston 20. He was surprised. That was a contender for this. Equally, the Tomatin PX Distillery would be a contender here. But this is a whiskey that I will now no longer buy because it's become so expensive. So that reinforces how special you're going to feel when I bring this out. This will undeniably impress anyone, even if you don't like the style that it is. It comes in a very, very impressive box, one that I need to slide just out of camera the top from. And there's a hint.
Oh,
And
right, okay.
of course, my VIP pour is a Glengoyne 25.
Nice. Nice.
And a sherry monster, but undeniably in my top 5 whiskies that I've ever experienced. Therefore, I would share that with you when you came to my house for dinner.
Nice, man. Nice.
48% as well as a Glengoyne. 48% is pretty good going from the distillery. Great.
Nice one. A good shout, Gregor.
All good. I've killed Jimmy with my pitch there. He's gone into a coma, he says.
Don't listen to it. Don't listen to it. Amazing stuff. You know, it's quite interesting because I had to, you know, value will play a role in this. And at the end, what I'm going to do is add up what the collections, individual collections would have cost and allocate 4 points to the one that came in at the lowest price and a point that came in the highest price, of course. What's interesting is how much that might affect. I remember the last time I bought a Glengoyne 25, 240 quid. And at that time, you bought a £6 tour at the distillery and they gave you a discount off it as well. So I got it even cheaper than that, 10% off that 24 quid off the £240. I dread to think what we'd pay today, Gregor, but you'll be judged on what you paid for that because that's how you're approaching and interacting that whiskey.
Yep.
Justin Wan has bought me a dram. Justin's in Hong Kong, well ahead of us, saying got to head to bed. We'll catch the rest on replay. Enjoy the summer break, Roy, and good night, everybody. Justin, you superstar. Thank you so much for your generosity, as well as Tim Donner Pass Whiskey buying him a dram. We say first poll tonight. I did not pick one of the above as an Anok fanboy. How could I not want that one? So many incredible indie bottlings here instead. Thank you very much, Tim. I'm glad you love Anok as much as I do. It's a cracking distillery. And Don Keydonk has bought me another wee dram to say Craigellachie 17 never fails to impress. It was on my short list, my friend. It really was. Everyone I've poured it for loved it. Have a great summer break. If you're talking about rich, decadent sherry pours, Craigellachie 17 is a cracking pick. I think it's me up next, boys. I'm just going to jump straight into it. I'm going to put forward my VIP pour. If you were coming to my house, what I might be pouring you, and I've gone a wee bit off-piste with this one. Indulge me. What I like to do as part of what I do is find things that are amazing, really good whiskies. But see if you can find really good whiskies that are good when people are aware of what they're drinking, and they're good when people are sipping it blind. And in any environment you put them in against, and you put them up against things that are established, legendary whiskies, and it still performs, and it outperforms, and it continues to perform, and then it goes on sale, and you can pick it up for 65 quid. Fully natural whiskey that reminds me every time I sip it that it's like Mortlach. And I would go as far to say even a good Mortlach on a good day, you're just sipping this. The weight of this whiskey, the value of this whiskey, excellent. What's putting people off with this? Is it the fact that it's got Speyburn on the label? Listen, I picked this up on sale. I might not be able to get the foil wrapper off it, but you can still pick this up for 80 to 85 pounds, and it's regularly on sale. I think for me to be able to pick this up at 65 pounds is superb. Oh, that should have been up at the mic. There we go. This, I would pour this for you, and you would say Speyburn, and maybe, depending on who you are, you might turn your nose up a wee bit, and then I would get you to sit down and just enjoy it and sip it alongside anything else that you want to sip it alongside with. Let me do a wee quality check here as I raise a glass to you all. Cheers to you all. Cheers to Inverhouse for bringing us this at this value.
Roy, is that natural colour or is it?
That is 100% natural colour, and thanks to Inverhouse, it tells us on the label.
Brilliant.
Do you see that on the silver strip at the bottom?
Yeah, for sure. No, that's ace. I don't know much about the Speyburn 18, but that. I
have to talk about. I'm going to come off now. I've said my piece. I have to talk about the weight of this whiskey and the meatiness to it, the savouriness. The thing that makes me think that it's like a wee bit like Mortlach. There's a weight and a presence to this whiskey that just is not talked about enough. It is just cracking. I love the 15-year-old. I love the value of the 15-year-old, 65 quid. If you've got another 20 quid extra to spend, treat yourself to the extra 3 years and just wallow in the fact that one of the best 18-year-olds is one of the most affordable 18-year-olds in 2024.
Don't know, Roy, I don't know how important I'd feel if you poured me a bottle that you got for $70, though. Let's be honest.
You're sitting in the vPub with 800 whiskies around you, and
Exactly.
I choose this for you. If you don't feel treated, then I'll take the glass back off you, turn you around 180 and give you a wee gentle nudge back out the door.
Yeah,
we need to be open-minded, and I think that you're judging it based on the fact that it says Speyburn, Gregor. And I think that that's the problem that the brand is having. You need to start sipping these things blind against each other. This will take on so many other similar whiskies. I put it to you, Gregor McQuee. This is right up your street. Right up your street.
I've got it. Don't worry. It's all good.
It looks right up Gregor's street.
He's not sipping it blind. He's judging it. He's judging it.
What do the barflies think? If you went round to Casa Roy and he rocks out the 18-year-old Speyburn, would you feel as a VIP, or would you want to be tickling Gregor's Glengoyne 25?
All I'm going to say at this point is both of those picks so far, the Glengoyne and the Speyburn, hellish colours. Hellish colours.
On that note, let's pass it over to Scotty. You can tell us what colour of whiskey you bring in then.
Right, I've got a whiskey that's actually whiskey coloured. None of that sherry muck ruining it. So this is interesting. So this is a bottle that I've shared a couple of drams of it so far. I'm trying to make it last. This is a delicious whiskey, and it's kind of funny because obviously we don't know what other people have chosen. But this is also from the much lamented and lost, bulldozed Imperial Distillery.
Woo!
This is a Van Wees, the ultimate single malt range, a Dutch bottler. I think they've got ties with Signatory. I'm not 100% about that. This might only be bottled at 46%, but it's 19 years old. It was distilled in 95, bottled in 2015, a hogshead. Until I tried Sevy's Imperial, this is the best Imperial I've ever had. The 46% doesn't ruin it anyway. I did mention this on a Dramface podcast. If you listen to that, this is the same bottle that I said I'm going to ration. Oh yeah, good shout on that. I bought this for my birthday back in January at auction. It cost me far too much money, but I don't regret any single part of it. It's got a kind of chalky lemon vanilla thing, and I've compared it before to Edinburgh Rock. If people know what Edinburgh Rock is, kind of crumbly fondant thing. It's like vanilla Edinburgh Rock. It's an absolute belter of a whiskey. Imperial, obviously, as I said, it's been bulldozed. Sevy probably touched this when he talked about his Imperial as well. I was up in Speyside a couple of years ago at the Dalmonic Distillery, and the old Imperial warehouses are still there. It's just such a shame that distillery is now no more, because when you get a good Imperial, it's just light suit, amazing stuff. So this is my fourth pick, Imperial 95 from the Van Wees Distillery. Go for it. Get that sherry muck off that screen, Gregor.
Tell you what, Scotty, what a choice. That is a great dram.
It's a beauty.
Well, there's only one more to go, and it's coming from Sevy. And I have to say, if we talk about personalising our lists, I don't want to preempt you, buddy, but if this didn't appear on the list, I'd have been pretty surprised. Take it away, fella.
Okay, so my VIP pour for anyone coming round to my house is this Chivas Regal 12. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
that's a.
No, absolutely not.
That's your first and only pick, Sevy. Sorry, pal.
No, you're not getting the Chivas Regal 12. No. So you might. I wonder if the barflies would guess. I'll give them maybe 20 seconds to guess what my VIP pour to impress my guests would be. But just to give you a bit of it's a farm distillery.
Hey.
His Lego guy is holding it in his hands.
Yes, indeed. That's very
right.
true. Very, very, very true. It's for me just an absolutely divine distillery. It could very well have been the Decadent Pour for me as well. They come in very, very distinct topped bottles, shall we say. So my VIP pour for anybody coming round is the absolutely wonderful 15-year-old independent whiskey bars, or the Fife Strength, as it's called, Daffmill. Now, this for me is an unbelievable whiskey. Now, this is sealed because I have got another Daffmill on the go at the moment. I was going to choose. Well, sorry.
Points off.
Points off. That's fine. That's fair enough. I have a wee single cask on the go. I didn't choose a single cask because they are very, very hard to get hold of. But I think for me, the VIP for me is this 15-year-old. It is elegant. It's got. It actually gets me a bit emotional. I absolutely love it. Like 15 years old, one of the kind of the oldest Daffmills that are about. It's that 56%, but it just drinks like it's 46. It's so easy on the palate. It's got a beautiful kind of lactic note. I pick up. It's one of the very, very few whiskies that I don't want to say 100%, but I would certainly say 80% of the time I feel like I could pick out of a lineup. It's got, as I said, that kind of slightly lactic note. It's like cream corn, but it's also got this bizarre kind of Earl Grey kind of waft, that kind of floral waft through it. It's just unbelievable. So if you ever come to my house as a VIP or anybody, you're welcome to the Daffmill 15.
Right.
There's
an invite to Sevy's house. Fantastic.
That's it.
And we can actively ask. We can actively ask for it now as well. Listen, buddy,
sure.
you were able to sort me out. I was chasing that bottle, and I failed. I didn't catch it, but you managed to help me catch it. It's sitting on the shelf here.
I'm not going to win any prizes, shall we say, in the the price category at the end. I get that. I totally get it. It's a pricey bottle, but if you get the chance to get a hold of them, and you can still get a hold of them. Sometimes at auction, you can actually get them less than RRP because of the way that this kind of secondary market is going at the moment. It is well worth it because it can become your decadent dram, but you can also share it with people because I love sharing this with people. It's, again, the antithesis of what I usually go for, as Scotty and Roy would say. It's
the poll is live, and you're campaigning beyond your allocated envelope, Minister.
I'm done. But it's bourbon cask brilliance. That's it.
I think we're looking at the closest one that we've had so far. My goodness.
Just say, Petehead, I pronounced this wrong. I think it's Van Wees rather than Wees that I said so.
Yeah.
Apologies to my Dutch-speaking friends.
There's a magnet. There's a magnet on the box, so the people know it's impressive.
Do you know what? See if they just
stop your campaigning, boys. We're just gonna. I'm gonna let the folks decide whether they want to just frivolously throw money away.
I'm gonna
pick up gorgeous whiskey that they could not pick out against 25-year-old product.
I'm pulling Gregor up on this, right? So imagine
how much better would Newsnight be if it was like this?
It'd be much better.
Newsnight with drams, much better. Seaweed World, Sherry Canary in Canada. Sorry, Scotty. She's bought me a dram to say for your summer break, for your summer dramming, have a wonderful and deserved break. Thank you very much, Sherry. Thank you so much. We need a. The trouble is that I can't be the referee tonight because I am.
It's not about you buying it. It's how important you would feel. I've poured you this now.
Gregor, I need to stop you a second because. being impressed with packaging, magnets and big boxes. Imagine how much that whiskey would cost if it wasn't for that ridiculous packaging. Imagine that.
It's an experience. It's an
Not
experience. And
experience.
I'm,
It's just
I'm
a bottle of
talking
whiskey.
about an experience for the broad audience, not just the aficionados, not
That's
just
it.
us.
It's the designer in him. He's now. Do you know what I mean? He's Instagrammed it. That's what it is. It's all about the. It's all about the TikTok.
Aye.
That's the brief. It's important. How important would you feel with that ceremony?
I'd be
it's an
furious if I opened that big box like that.
You're the 1%.
Yeah.
You're the 1%.
But if I opened the big box like that and I found a bottle of whiskey that colour in it, I'd be like, what's this?
Scotty would
Put it
lamp
back
you
in the
with it.
box and
But
put it in
then
the
you
bin.
drink it, you'd sip it, and your face would melt.
Okay, everyone,
away.
I'm going to, because all the argument, we've still got another category to go. Lots more to argue about, but it means that I'm going to kill the poll off in the next 10 seconds. So we have a winner and we have somebody drawn up last place. It's just a case of sorting out who is going to come second and third, I think, here. Jim Morse, my friend Jim, is saying, enjoy your break. I wish everyone a wonderful whiskey. Thank you very much, Jim. And thank you to Jimmy Legg as well. Before tonight, I didn't care for Gregor's taste in whiskey. Nothing has changed. Oh, bless. Listen. I have had to go through years of wonderfully cutting, and very, very complimentary and funny comments from Jimmy as well. We all have to take it. I have to say that, Gregor, I'll be honest with you, bud. The Glengoyne 25 has done very, very well here tonight. More than I would have predicted on that one, but that's not been the case. No. The barflies speak, and the barflies speak loudest. Like I say, I'm going to end the poll now in 5. And we've got a clear winner, clear last place, and it's just gone even again. No, I'm going to end it. But I ended it on as it went even. Oh. Right, so that's to split the points, okay? So there's 3 points for second place, 2 points for third place. You put it together 5, so you get 2.5 each, all right?
Okay.
So that's what it's going to come out. So last place is me with my Speyburn 18. I'm treating you like a VIP, a very important person. I'm pouring you a 65 quid, 85 quid bottle of whiskey. You're going to take offense at that. You don't trust me about flavor, which is why I go on about blind tasting so much. I am going to pour you that because I want you to leave here thinking that is something that I can go on and continue to taste and enjoy. Regardless, you didn't buy that. That's okay. Last place for me in 1 point. Coming up in a joint second and third, we have the Glengoyne 25 and the Van Ways Imperial 95. So they're getting 2.5 points each instead of a 3 and 2. But first place with 36%, clearly a first place, I have to say, is the Fife Strength.
Open it.
Well, I tell you what I'll do, Gregor. Tell you what I'll do. If I score a pass mark on Menno's quiz tonight, I'll open my 5 Strength Daft Mill.
All right, there we go. And then pour.
And I'm not pressuring Sevian to open his.
Okay, interesting.
Gregor,
so
I want to give you a bit of this as well because I know it's difficult to get it in the States as well. Like this is the 2011 UK.
I will take it.
Single cast Daft Mill. It's just a
gratitude.
bit left.
I'll feel very, very, very important when you do that.
Yeah.
Whereas you won't feel important if I pour. I understand the calculation, and I take the points on the chin. By the way, folks, it's very, 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 very close. And I suspect if I look at this, I'm not sure. I don't think I can call who's going to be able to take this. But let's continue. It's very close right up till the end. All right, the final category is something. It's the end of the night. You've had a flight of whiskies. You're sipping something that you're going to just kind of pick up the nose and go, oh, and then take a sip of it, and it shuts down the room. The mute in your head has been activated. You sink into the glass. You can't focus on the conversation or the company anymore. The whiskey has gone, I'm here, and I'm loud. And I'm going to grab your attention. It's going to be hard for you to focus on anything else other than the liquid that's in your glass. We all know what that means, don't we? We all know what it is when we talk about an attention grabber, right?
Yep, absolutely.
That's what we're going for. I think is it me that's up first for this one? Who was first last time?
I was up first for the second.
So I started. It's 5 categories. It's back to me
Yep.
to start. So I'll just get mine out of the way quickly.
Okay.
When we talk about attention grabbers, there was a bunch of stuff I could have picked for this, but this is 2024. It's where we are today. It's where we are now. So I'm going to talk about a distillery that is very much now. A distillery that pre-lockdown nobody was really talking about. I mean, a lot of people weren't even aware that it existed. And now we talk about it so much that people are starting to get a wee bit tired of how much we all talk about it. That's a mistake. That's a big mistake. We have to judge things based on the things that they do and what they bring us. And the stuff that the onliners talk about, the stuff that the community talks about, the stuff that we all have to understand that there is a difference between hype and consensus. Hype is when something is artificially elevated, and consensus is sometimes when people are all talking about it because they've all been convinced, practically convinced. I'm going to talk about the West Coast darling that is Ardnamurchan, but very, very specifically, I'm talking about a very specific grain that's been used here. I hope you can read that on the side. 674 Spanish oak bottles from a sherry butt Golden Promise barley. I could have picked the Inverary George Hotel's Golden Promise. Absolutely fantastic liquid. But I've picked the Good Spirits Company one tonight because I've talked about the George Hotel bottle in the past. This is absolute. I used to talk about back in the day that nobody talked about what texture and whiskey enough. Now people are talking about texture. Maybe it was just the company I was keeping back then. Everywhere I go, people are talking about texture and whiskey. If you want to be reminded of what texture means, pick up a glass of this. This is going to hit you with the sherry first. It's going to hit you all those dark, rich colours. But what's magical about this and why it attracts your attention is that arrival, that texture. This is a different take. This is a new thing. We're experiencing Golden Promise barley in a contemporary way. And it's celebrated for being Golden Promise. And it is just... nothing else to say. I lost my train of thought. I'm getting peanut from it tonight as well. Fantastic.
Peanut?
Incredible stuff.
Peanut?
Peanut. You're in.
Oh, got my vote.
You could not pour this for anyone and they would then not have them comment. It's stunning.
Banging. That is a banging dram. I'm going to vote for that. That is a banging dram.
I've not tried it.
Oh, Scotty, it's in. Just go down to the Good Spirits Company. They're pouring it. They're pouring it in the shop. It is just. I mean, I know how you feel about sherry muck and things, but I also know you as a gentleman who has a wee collection of self-indulgent guilty pleasures sherry drams.
Oh, what? You say what?
I've always said about sherry, not that I don't like it, I just don't like it when it's overly sherried or too sulfuric, or that sulfur note comes out, or it masks the character of the distillery. So I don't mind sherry. If it's done with a gentle hand, I'm all for it. I don't mind it. So yeah.
I don't think you would be sipping from this and talking about the sherry. There's too much else to talk about. Spice, chocolate.
All right, I think you've had your say.
Peanut.
Aye, exactly. Exactly.
Boys, honestly, that dram, I had it when I was in, just sampled it. It is, because Roy and I, again, we had the George Hotel one, which was amazing on the way down to Campbelltown. Came back, had the one at Good Spirits. It's on a par, maybe even slightly better. Those two single casks for me with the Golden Promise barley is unreal.
Okay.
He's arguing another boy's case. What's that all about?
I know, it's ridiculous.
That's what we do. That's just part of what we do.
It's like
play to win.
Come on.
Win.
Come on.
I want to win, but I still want to celebrate great whiskey. And those two bottles, those two single casks, George Hotel, Good Spirits Company, Golden Promise barley, unreal. It elevates Ardnamurchan.
I'm excited for the future. See the stuff that's gone out there with heritage grains, bringing back long defunct grains, playing with different styles of grains, malted and unmalted, and even oats and all this crazy stuff that's happening right now in distilleries all across the world. And I'm not talking about Ardnamurchan. I'm talking about bigger things. It's exciting times. Don K. Dunk has bought us a dram as well to suggest Edredauer 10, very difficult to ignore. Thank you very much for your dram, buddy. I think it's a good shout. Let's see if in the last 3 nominations that we've got tonight, if Edredauer's going to make an appearance. And Menno talked about earlier how we've gone through the whole evening so far and not seen an Isla. Quite amazing. I think he's spot on. Everyone just saying, actually, a whiskey that grabs my attention is a delicate but complex whiskey that requires my focus to get it. I have some older bottlings of RN18 that really just sucks me in. That's true, Chris. But I think what happens with those is that if you're in conversation and focused on somebody, they tend to slip under the radar, and it needs a quiet, contemplative moment to get it. I'm talking about whiskey that I can sit with these boys talking at full chat and take a sip of it, and it still tunes them out, it mutes them out. It shouts above the company. It's a rare thing. Who's up next? I think we'll pass it over to Scotty. He's up next, and he's going to be celebrating what, Scotty?
All right, okay. So this is one of the best whiskeys I've had for quite a while. And so a distillery that you might not, it's kind of, I think, a bit underappreciated. Certainly their core range is underappreciated. I think no one really talks about that much. I think it's starting to get a little bit more traction at the moment. But I have gone for a whiskey sponge bottle of Glengarry 21. First fill hogshead, 55.4. There it is there. 2003, bottling 20 this year. So Glengarry to me always gives a kind of baklava flavour, you know, that kind of phyllo pastry with nuts, honeyed nuts between it. I always get that in Glengarry's, no matter what it is. This has it in spades. Now, this says on it quite clearly, 21 years old. It is 21 years old going on to 30. It is so rich and decadent. I can't believe it's only 21 years old. There's so much fruit, dark chocolate spice. The weight of it is beautiful. The mouth feels amazing. It's rich black currants. It's that baklava stuff going on. It's a beautiful, beautiful dram. And I took a punt on it. I don't know why. I just thought I want that bottle. And I've not been disappointed. It's fantastic. I only got it. I would try to save it, but as you can see, it's going south quickly. But it's a beautiful, rich, end of the night dram. I think as well, if you like high strength, good quality bourbons, I think you'd find something to like in this as well, because it's got that kind of that deep richness to it and sweetness, but it's got the musty character to it as well. All the fruits, dark fruits going on. It's just a beautiful, beautiful dram, and that's my fifth and final pick. It's just a beautiful whiskey. So that's Glengarry whiskey sponge, 21-year-old. First fill hoggy. There you go.
Fantastic. I think it sounds like one you need to share with us, big guy.
No
Looking
chance.
Forward to a wee sip of that.
I'm joking, of course. I'd love to share it with you guys.
Superb. Interesting. Can I just? I'm not. In fact, I'm not going to ask what you paid for it. You've talked about it. You've talked about it loudly. I'm curious as hell. A 21-year-old Glengarry with Scott Monroe's stamp of approval on it as well. I'm in the line. I'm in.
How underrated is Geary though, boys? Underrated.
Yeah.
Totally.
Indie, whatever you want, Geary is so underrated.
And also, it's getting a lot of investment, right? Beam Suntory, say what you like about Beam Suntory for what they've done to, or continue to do to Oche, to Lefroy, to Bowmore. But up at Glengarry, they're doing different things. They're investing direct fired wash still, floor maltons, taking it back to old school, more peated style. Super excited about something we're already celebrating, potentially only getting better. Exciting times indeed. Scotty, I think that's a good case you've put forward, buddy. I think that I'm coming to your house to have a wee shot at it.
Honestly, I'll get some samples before I tan the whole bottle, because it's just a beautiful, rich, as you say, end of the night dram. One dram's enough to last.
Can you imagine the mess of the night that we'd have if we all got together with the whiskies that we'd be nominating and putting forward tonight?
No, it'd be disaster zone.
Have you tried that Adventurers Geary from Adelphi?
No, I haven't tried that. I haven't tried it.
Was it not 11? Was it not only 11 years old or something?
No, it was
11 years old. I've still got a bottle in the stash that we can crack open when we all come together.
Don't
That might be
don't let Doogie Crystal of Dramface fame
Oh.
hear that you have a bottle of that. He will break into your house for such a thing. All right, Sevi, is that going to be, though, your attention grabber? What do you have in store for us right at the end? This is your last bottle to put forward tonight, buddy. Go.
If there was a category, this is my category. As in, I don't care if I win or not, but I love the attention grabber. I had so many bottles for this. One of my favourite bottles that came second, I didn't choose this, but I need to mention it, is the Arne Gherkin. Arne Gherkin. Oh, yes. Exactly, Gregor. Some people hate it. Some people absolutely love it. But that isn't the bottle that you're going to have tonight because, Gregor, it's so polarizing. So tonight...
Cheese feast.
My bottle is one of my favourite bottles and attention-grabbing bottles of all time. Was a bottle from 2018, and it was the Long Row 14 Sherry Cask.
Oh,
now
I know that bottle, Sevi.
Yes, you do. You hated that. However, it's unobtainium. You still can't get it because it's so old, but also the fact that if you do get it at auction, it's like 200, 250 quid. Forget all that stuff. Now, there is something that gives you the essence of that bottle, but gives you even more. And I implore you that what is the best thing for Scotch whiskey? If you have great English whiskey.
Oh, you love that bottle, Sevi. I know that bottle.
That is. If we were all put in a dark room and said you have to pick one bottle to talk about, I think there's a good chance that would be the bottle we're picking. Continue, fella.
This is unreal. This bottle. Now you can still buy this at retail. It is distilled in August 2007, 11-year-old from a Burgundy red wine cask. So that's the other thing tonight. We've not had any wine finishes, and I know, Scotty, you don't like wine finishes. However,
hate them.
This is like a bonfire in a glass. It literally tastes like a bonfire. It's got that element of sulfur, but it's got smoke, and it's from the St. George's Distillery in Norfolk. Yes, we're correct. The English whiskey. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yes. Now, it is unbelievably good. Ian has done a great job with this one. I think he released a Sauterne, which was also really, really nice. But this one is magical. It turns up at auction. You can sometimes get it for as little as 45 to 50 quid, but it is still in retail.
Yeah, that's
magical. It is rich. It's got that lovely burgundy flavour. So if you do like wine finishes, it's rich, it's tasty. Like the tasting notes, Pinot Noir, flinty cherries and raspberries, and Sassenach's eau de vie. That's what it is like. So honestly, it is rich, it's deep, it's got that kind of Long Row 14 embers and volcanic sulphur, but not baby sick sulphur. It's proper tasty sulphur. It's a strong dram. It might be a polarizing dram, but it is effing magic.
Listen, if I had £1 for every time you've evangelized about that bottle of whiskey, there is no more convincing of me that you love that whiskey needed.
Oh, it's unreal.
You love it. Yeah, I know that you absolutely love it. Gene Kelly bought me a dram to say sending along a wee bit to wish Roy well on his upcoming holiday. Looking forward to the return of the vPub in August. Gene, I'm looking forward to welcoming you back here again, my friend. Good to have you. And John Ferguson, that looks like a new name. Gentlemen, all great pours. I'd treat you to a Glengoyne Legacy Chapter 1. Cheers. Chapter 1. We're probably going back to 2018 for that, John. Is that right? It's quite a wee while. The Legacy's been going. We're all excited about it because although it came out without an age statement, it had the higher ABV and it was quite a rich, decadent, dare I say, wee bottle of whiskey, and I'm glad you're enjoying it, and it's nice to welcome you in here, John. Gene Kelly and John Ferguson, thank you for your drams. Cheers, folks. Let's roll on. Sevi's had his say. Scotty's had his say. I've had my say. The final dram of the night is the guy who's trying to grab our attention, Mr. McQueen. Take it away.
Oh, Gregor.
So this is all about attention grabbing. And this bottle worked on a few layers. When I was down looking across the collection, it shouted out. So it absolutely grabbed my attention for a number of reasons. I also have picked this, so I should caveat this as well. Don't base this on would you buy it, could you buy it, any of that. This is about attention grabbing. I've also picked it because I knew what the other boys would be picking. They've all brought different swords to a knife fight, and that's not going to grab the attention. I've brought a bazooka because that is going to Sevi tried to bring 2 swords. No, a bazooka. I brought a tank, and I was influenced by an experience when we went to Isla together, and I brought 2 bottles with me. One I thought would have a bigger reaction, and one, as soon as it was opened, the barflies swarmed.
Oh yes, I know.
Hands came from everywhere, and that was an insight to me. Was in a world full of Scotch, can you grab the attention with just another better Scotch or a Scotch? So I've picked something that, like I said, it's a bazooka. It's 62.4%.
Nice.
It's punchy. It's going to grab anyone's attention that's a Scotch lover, but maybe intrigue them into another world. And I've selected a George T. Stagg.
Oh, baby.
Jesus Christ.
Because undeniably, it grabbed everybody's attention right in that second.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous. That's. Can I just say, Gregor? I went with I had a virtual tasting with Good Spirits Company, a unicorn tasting, bourbon tasting, and that was one of the drams or one of the stags, and it's light, so it's great. I mean, I'm thinking about voting for it right now, man, because it's grand.
See, George T. Stagg is amazing, but I've got this affinity for the Thomas H. Handy. Like, I love the rye, but the Stag is so good. It really is.
I think more Scotch lovers would appreciate a George T. Stagg.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It is more Scotchy. For sure.
I would say, though, that my Glengarry, right, has got all the stuff you get in that bottle that amps it up, right, 100 times. Listen, you can keep your bazookas. I've got a nuke from space, right?
Right. The poll is live, boys. The poll is live. It's rolling in. Various, quite an eclectic wee mix tonight. Amazing.
I'm getting some wax in this thing.
Can I say it's coming home? That's my whiskey's coming home. That's what it is. Or is that...
Has it ever been home?
I don't know. Is that not what you say? It's coming home. Oh, sorry.
No.
Again, it's not necessarily about what you would drink. What grabbed their attention right there? What grabbed the attention?
Gregor, I agree with you. I
tell you what, put 4 glasses out, put your George T. Stagg up against your Gary, bring along. I tell you what would win. If it was about grabbing attention, it would be that 11-year-old. I have to say, it would be that. I'm not 100% sure it would grab the attention of everyone for the right reasons, Sevi. I know that it lights your world right up. I've met a couple of folk actually that really, really love it. A shout out to Mark from the Glasgow Whisky Club. He's no longer there anymore. He's off to Australia, but he raved about that whiskey too. It's not about ABV, Gregor.
No, but Gregor's got a point though. Like, so if you came around my house and I gave you some of this Glengarry, right? I think you would just sit and contemplate it. I think you'd be blown away by it. What Gregor's done there with that one is he's just brought a grenade and he's just said, right, how about this, boys? It's a great whiskey. I mean, honestly, Gregor's whiskey is just lights it amazing. So I can't.
Don't forget to vote. Don't forget to vote, Scott.
No, I've already voted.
What I love about this round
for myself. Yeah.
Do you know what's great about this round is we've had 2 Scotches, an English whiskey, and an American whiskey. Like, so that, if anything, as an attention grabber, shows you that the fact is we love our Scotch, we love our malt, all that kind of stuff. But there is stuff out there that kind of grab your attention that's different, and that. Can I just say just now, amazing.
This isn't in tonight's running. I mentioned it to you before the stream tonight. It arrived yesterday. Opened it last night. It's the new Wireworks bourbon cask.
Oh, curious about that. Definitely
it's fantastic. Wireworks can do no wrong. They can do no wrong. English whiskey. doing it the right way. I think they're one of the most exciting distilleries in the UK right now. White Peak. But this
Can I just draw attention to the fact? Well, soon it'll be 4 Scots and a Belgian, but right now on screen it's 4 Scots, and we're actively shouting about whiskies that are not Scotch whiskey.
Absolutely, man.
And so we do love our Scotch. We really do. We're jazzed by it, excited by it. But when it comes to flavour, it's very, very easy to get over the fact that it's not Scotch. Do we all agree that we have to be promiscuous to find the best stuff?
Of course you do. Absolutely do.
Unfortunately, in this category, the best is Scotch. I will one day convince you of how good this Ardnamurchan is. But right now, I'm fighting with, I don't know what I'm fighting with. I'm fighting with the kudos that's behind Sponge and Glengarry. I'm fighting behind, the BTAC nonsense, right? The unicorn.
That's outrageous.
So-called, bring a bazooka. I'll bring this Ardnamurchan and I'll shield myself from your bazooka. And but unfortunately, the one that's struggling tonight is Sevy's.
That's all right.
I'm surprised at that. I thought that we'd have a lot of patriotism in tonight from the English crowd who's still participating tonight. Maybe not, but it looks like I'm going to end the poll, and that's the voting over for tonight in the next 10 seconds. But it's looking like North Star English 11-year-old is drawn up the rear for a point, followed by my Ardnamurchan Golden Promise. You really don't know what you're talking about.
End the poll. End the poll.
How is that third?
It's incredible.
Third?
Just end the poll, Roy. It's like
Scott's getting nervous because the George T. Stag is trying to catch up.
Again, don't base it on what you can buy. What grabbed your attention there?
This is
it's parked in the lounge. Wow. The lounge lit up when I shared my dram.
That is insane.
It lit up when I shared my dram. People are
just amazing it is to have Gregor in here to light up the lounge. Well, he takes it on that one. He seems to be, like I say, the English comes in.
Recount.
Ardnamurchan next on 2 points. Sponge Geary. Wait, no. Geary took it. Geary took it. Geary took it on 4 points.
There. And Jimmy Leg. Jimmy Leg's got bots in here. Tell you that.
there are many Jimmy Legs.
I want a recount.
A legend.
I will happily pour that English whiskey for anyone that comes round, and I guarantee it, blind, they'll go, that is an incredible dram. Honestly, and more so for me, even though the English whiskey, I cannot believe the Golden Promise Ardnamurchan. Like, that is absolutely lights out good. Lights out good.
Not as good as a Glengarry 21-year-old going on 30-year-old.
Clearly.
Okay. Roy's crunching some numbers right now.
Yes,
do you know, again, every single one of those drams I would be happy to give to anybody because they are 4 cracking drams.
It's been a great collection of whiskey throughout the evening.
I'm not happy. I'm not happy.
What's up? You bought them.
Roy's going to be last.
Still got the vote for cost and price. Right?
Yeah.
And I'm done.
Well, we don't vote. We don't vote for that. It's automatically allocated. But the points are these are the people have spoken. The people have spoken, and it is what it is. Okay. It was very, very close for a while, but the last couple of categories really threw things quite away. Aye. And then if you add the value count into it, I'll tell you what the value count, what it did.
Last place.
Roy, before you go on, can I ask a question? Are you doing Gregor's Stag that costs about $1,000, or are you doing
what you paid? It's what you paid.
Sev, if I did that, it would be for Scotty's Imperial, Talisker 8, your Imperial. I would have to do that. I was the only one that didn't go for a unicorn that you'd have to pay through the backside for today.
Right, okay.
But it's turned out it's not done with the world. So what I did is I had to treat everybody with the same rules and base it on the price that they paid for it. So it is a very, very vivid caveat that we need to draw attention to. So if you were to buy George T. Stag at retail, we would all be able to afford it. But if it wasn't available at retail for you and you had to go out and just buy it from wherever you could get it, you would lose this game tonight. But that's not the rules of the game. We're talking attention grabber. We did not ask for a bargain. We did not ask for value. We asked for an attention grabber, and that was the defining characteristic for it. So the same goes for a lot of the other ones that we proffered tonight. Your Signature Vintage Imperial, as I say, Scottish Talisker 8. It is what it is. Anyway, on value, the most expensive of the lineup tonight, with a retail of £587, Scott Monroe.
No way.
With a single point. Coming in third on value, very, very close, £580. Sevi.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be last by a mile.
So it's between Gregor and me for who got the best value. One of us came in at £520. The other one came in at £482.
You can't have a stag in there and be the best value. You had chance up.
Absolutely. Despite the fact that he put in £100 for his bottle of stag, he couldn't take it. The value goes to me, 482 quid, which is a clear 40 quid under Gregor's 520. I take the 4 points for the value. But
I thought I had it.
it's a shallow victory for me because it doesn't help me in the bigger picture. Here are the scores for this evening, everyone. Here we go.
Let's do it.
It is so close. Second from last and last is 13.5 points to 13 points. That should give it away. Last place on 13 points is the master bottle chaser, the Alchemist.
I knew. That's fine. No, that's all right.
Half a point away, buddy. Half a point.
That's fine. That's fine.
Scotty is in third place on 13.5 points. For his Ardna Castrents, he gets 3. For his Kilkerran 16, he gets 2. For his Talisker, he gets a point. For the Imperial, he gets 2.5. For the Sponge Geary, he took the plaudits on 4, made a late run, and then only a point on the value, which was the banana skin for him. Sevi managed a point for his Kilkerran, his Signatory, and his North Star English, coming last in 3 of the categories. That's what tripped him up, despite the fact that his Daphmel and his Imperial both won the categories. Only second from last on value. So he ended up with 13 points. So that's between the man with the golden voice and the man with home advantage. No. I just have to.
I know, full screen, that screen grab, that's got to be the title.
Is that your OnlyFans?
I can tell you that one of us managed 2 first places. Oh no. The other one managed only 1 first place. But despite that only 1 first place, they take it overall. I got 16 points. Gregor McQuee managed 17.5 points.
Oh.
We might be out the Euros, but I'll take that one.
Well done, Gregor. Well done, mate.
Glenmorangie 10, Kleinleash 14, Kuboken 15, Glengoyne 25, George Steek. I cry. Shenanigans. Nonsense. Yet it was the community that spoke. The barflies spoke. They're the ones voting. So Gregor managed to get the balance right.
Well
He
done,
brought
Gregor.
the goods. He did well. A huge, very, very generous dram coming in from the end. It's Stevie O saying, I'm a non-buying July, but a drink for your holidays is cool. Have a super holiday with the family, Roy. Stevie O, thank you for your support here. Thank you for your support in Dramface right across. It's wonderful to know you. It's wonderful to have your support, buddy. Let's raise a glass for Stevie O and congratulate the man with the golden voice from Portland with love. Amber Finger.
Johnny
Cheers.
Bastard.
Time for a dram. Gregor McQuee, well done. Well done.
Slanger barflies.
Yeah. Surely has to get like 5 points off for being like 45 minutes late.
That's
Now-
true. That's true.
For bragging rights, what would Menno pick?
Whoa. Okay.
Put you on the spot there, buddy. Sorry.
Whose flight are you picking?
Sorry?
Whose flight are you picking? Is that the question, Roy?
Yep. Who would Menno pick?
It's a tough
It's a
question.
tough one.
Not Sevi or
Why
Roy
you just need to answer, all of you boys.
I think you'll need to send me samples of each of your picks. Just,
That's the
for
way.
science.
I like that.
Danny lad.
I like that.
To be honest, lads, not been a bad dram tonight. Not been a bad
No,
dram.
definitely not. I'd happily drink everything that's been mentioned.
Yeah.
Did
I
Menno have selections? Did Menno have?
Yeah,
A
well,
backup?
he was our backup, so if you couldn't join us,
All right.
if Sevi had a
probably-
last minute hiccup or Scotty or
Got you.
whatever, Menno had a wee reserve. So Menno, honestly, I know that you put a lot of thought into that list, and I know that asking you to do that just so that you could kind of play along in the background was a big deal. But it's just a mark of you and who you are as a gentleman, buddy. Thank you so much for participating. It was nice of you to kind of run shotgun for us. The reason I can only have 4 playing this, by the way, just to let everyone know, and not have many in just to play along, it's not just about time. The voting system on YouTube will only allow 4 entries, so that's it. That caps it. A dram come in from Matt Bishop, Whiskey Games, saying, the fire has died down here in Orkney. Oh, you lucky bugger, and he's in Orkney. So it's time for bed, and I've finished my glass of Scapa. Have a good summer, Roy, and all the barflies. Matt, thank you so much for your generous dramming. A dramming from Jimmy Legg as well. This has been the best vPub that didn't have Roddy in it until some horribly bad math ruined it. Did I make a mistake on the maths?
No, it's because
No, he
because
didn't want
Gregor
the
won.
wee winning.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Vote
have a dram to celebrate Matt Bishop, one of the alchemists from the blind tasting from an Orkney, SMWS, my favourite ever SMWS. Let's try and get that into the camera. The Dark Lord of Stromness, 20-year-old, single cask, ex-bourbon barrel,
Hello?
Highland Park.
Fantastic. Here's to Matt. Here's to everyone. Jimmy Legg as well. Graham Fraser celebrating being a member for 51 months, saying have a great break, Roy Barflies, over the summer. Thank you, Graham. Nice to have you in, buddy, at the end. Danny Hebbington is here too, with a generous dram saying, well done, chaps. Not a bad dram among them. Here. Have a great holiday, Roy. Here's a token towards the Spanish recycled review. Thank you very, very much, Danny. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you to Graham Fraser as well. Cheers, everyone. Let's get the wheels on the quiz at the end, shall we?
Let's go for no points. Menno, I expect to get a donut tonight. Don't let me down.
Sorry to disappoint you all, but
You gotta
make
go.
Jimmy Legg happy. I've got to pull a shoot, I'm afraid.
No, you can't. You can't get to the quiz at the end.
It's
I know.
absolutely
You can't
because it's
win.
Menno. I didn't know it was Menno, so now that I know I'm out.
Gregor,
Hey.
I'll answer your questions and I'll answer mine. I get more chance to get my
Perfect.
point. if I
Right,
do
I tell you what, Gregor. Take a pen,
Mm.
write down an A or a B or a C for 10.
Yeah.
Or
And
send
proffer
it. Send it in the chat.
Go for the
Gregor.
monkey.
Wait, what?
So send 1 to 10 in the chat, right? In the
And
WhatsApp
choose a
chat.
random A, B, C next to it.
Oh,
You'll probably
just
do
as a
better
monk-
than us.
as a. All right, okay.
And we'll see if you can get better than me or anybody who hears the
Gregor,
question.
the
In
hairy
what chat?
monkey.
In what
Just
chat?
put
This
it,
one.
put it in the WhatsApp chat, Gregor. So we
Put
can
it
see
in
it.
anything.
Okay. All right, I'll do that. Or I'll do it here, and then you all can.
No, do it in the public
Oh,
chat. Just do it.
Okay.
And do it quickly.
Gregor, I'm
for
also
Christ's sake.
expecting $100 bottle of George T. Stag when you next come over, you chancer.
It's a fair point.
Shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
George T. Stag, man. Pulled that out.
$100.
Amazing, man. $100,
Not
man.
a chance.
Not a
Ridiculous,
chance.
man.
Mero, the man from Belgium's even said it's not a chance.
Honest
a
to God,
fact.
man.
I'll show you the receipt.
No.
Was it at a bar?
You,
for like
you
a
need to
Goosey
wear it.
Eldrin?
Right, as soon as you leave, the Bottlechasers logo goes. 4 of us have to be in here for that to stay.
Oh,
If you're going to parachute, you're going to parachute. Ferguson
Thank you,
Ferguson
Gregor.
has bought us a dram from Texas, saying from Texas, enjoyed the drams, gents. Off to sit my Highland Park 30-year-old. Any of you make it out here, I'll treat you to steaks and drams.
Amazing.
Fantastic, John.
Cheers,
Thank you so
John.
much, buddy.
Thanks, John.
Cheers to you.
Steaks and
It's
drams.
a great idea at this time of night, actually. Some
Steaks and drams.
That does sound.
God.
Ask if John can get us a George T. Stag for $100 as well. That would be good.
No chance. He'll bring you extra steaks, but he can't bring you a George T. Stag for £100.
That sounds good.
Yuri is saying simply about whiskey. He's saying right now, watching from Spain. Have a really good holiday, Roy. I'm looking forward to joining you over there soon, buddy. Fantastic. Right, are we ready? Let's. If Greg was going to drop his
I'm gonna go. Roy, have an
Cheers, Gregor.
absolutely belter of a break, and may it heal all ailments.
Lovely seeing you, Gregor.
I'll see you on the
Cheers
flip
all.
side.
Gregor,
See ya.
enjoy yourself, bud.
All the best, Gregor.
Love you, brother.
Right, Gregor is going on an A for 1, 2 is a B, 3 is C,
10
4
out of 10.
A. I can
10
see
out of
what's
10.
here.
Imagine Gregor get a 10 out of 10 on a menu quiz just by guessing.
6 B.
Gives me hope. Gives me
7.
hope.
I wonder what the odds are of that. 7 B is 8 is B.
So just when you were totting those up, Menno, what was your? Did you have some picks towards the end? Like,
Yeah.
What did you have on your list?
I think Jimmy's just brought you a dram as well, Roy, just for...
Permashelf would be.
Oh, Jimmy Jazz,
Well,
Jimmy, how you doing? Have a wonderful summer, all you great barflies in Aquavite, and hoping you open that Fife strength tonight. Great stuff. Let's get it ready, shall we?
Right,
It's
Roy.
actually easily within reach.
Right, Roy. Let's say
Five strength.
we hear what Menno's picks were for the 5 tonight.
Yeah, well, we know the first two. Take it away,
Yeah.
Menno.
First two were Inchmar 12 as the Permashelf,
Yep.
and then the crowd pleaser was Indri,
Mhm.
and then the self-indulgent one was Armoric 15-year-old, the
Okay.
French whiskey. The Impressa guest would be the Old Pulteney 17, as it's my
Beautiful.
last bottle of this one is
Oh,
discontinued. So,
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
and then the attention grabber, I can't believe nobody picked this up. It's the Kilkerran 8 Sherry cask.
Oh,
Nice.
I
Nice.
declare Menno the winner. He trounces Gregor, surely. That
Gregor,
lineup beats Gregor, right?
Gregor
A wee
can't
round of
defend
applause, Menno. You're the winner tonight. Gregor can poke it, right?
himself.
Well done.
I guarantee Menno's is probably half the price of all of ours. As well.
Absolutely.
Probably.
For sure.
That's true.
Buddy, thank you so much for staying in the background, putting up with all our nonsense, for hanging
Oh,
around,
it was great fun.
And-
Just
and having your own list on the go as well.
Thank you, Menno.
Now that we've been nice to you, please be nice to us.
maybe. Okay.
This background looks like Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Question 1. Which of these distilleries is not in the top 5 of the Dramface 40 best distilleries list? Is it A. Ardnamurchan, B. Glengyle, or C. Lachranza?
Are you missing a banana skin here, Menno? Yeah, I'm just checking.
Oh dear.
Which of these distilleries is not in the top 5?
Okay.
Oh no.
Mhm.
Okay.
I know this.
I should know
I'm
it
so
too.
confident. I'm so confident. I've already marked Gregor as a.
I don't really know.
No, I'm just guessing, man. But
Mine's a
got-
guess.
I've got my number.
Can
I don't even
I
remember my
get
letter.
a hint, Menno, in the fact that would one of these maybe have won an Oswas?
Sevi, I can honestly tell you that all 3
3 have won us was multiple.
All right, okay, that's fine.
and all 3 make whiskey, and Scotch whiskey for that matter as well.
That's fine. Thanks.
Maybe they don't.
Cheers.
I don't know.
All right,
Right.
guess.
Oh, so we need our letters, don't we? We need our.
Yeah.
Hold
I'm
on.
ready.
ABCs.
I'm
I
ready.
don't have it, so I'm just going to make a shape. Okay.
Okay,
Right.
then in 3, 2, 1. We got a C, and Roy, what's that supposed to be?
Oh,
An
it's a
E.
B. So it goes that
B.
way. B. Yeah.
Okay,
Roy, could you do it in
you're
expressive
1 for
dance,
1.
please?
Ah!
Expressive dance.
Brilliant.
I need some paper, don't I? Here we go. I'll use this paper.
Glengyle is actually number 6, and it could have been indeed a banana skin.
Oh, yeah. Could be.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So 0 for 1.
Me too.
Scotty.
I'm
Off
Nice.
to a promising start then.
going for the donut. Here we go.
Yep. There will be no donuts tonight, I think. Question 2. Which of these is not one of the 5 smallest distilleries in Scotland as listed in the 2024 Malt Whisky Yearbook?
Okay.
Is it A. Strathern? Is it B. Daftmill? Or is it C. Dornoch?
It's not.
Oh no.
Wow, Menno, you're bringing it.
Yeah, man, Menno. That's okay. I've got my letter is ready on my phone. I have no idea.
It can be only one. I don't want to sound like the Highlander, but it can be only one, surely.
Not one of them.
Wow, this is really, really hard. Menno, thank you for ruining my opportunities of. Right, I've only got A and B written out. Let's make a C on this side.
Make a D as well, Roy. You have more chance of getting it right with a D.
Exactly.
A
Orange.
D. You're not
Keep
wrong.
the thought. Keep the thought, Scotty.
Okay, I've got my numbers ready.
Can't
Okay,
even
then.
Right.
What's the number?
3, 2, 1. Answers triple A's, triple points. Try to earn
Oh,
Gotta be.
Well done. Well done.
Dornick,
No.
you can see all 4 walls if you just turn around.
yeah. Gregor's monkey is currently on 0 for 2.
Rightfully so.
Come on,
And what's the
Scotty, let's get to
question
5.
3? Which of these distilleries currently offers 5 expressions in its core range?
5, okay.
Would that be A. Glenturret, B. Balbert, or C. Ardbeg?
Oh my god. Menno! Yes, all of them.
I think I know this.
No, you don't, Sevy. You think you do, but you don't. Trust me.
Well, that's why I said I think I know this.
Aha. Emphasis on think.
Christ.
I think I know this. I'm going for it.
Jeez.
Yeah, I'm
Brutal.
not,
Brutal.
Because some of them,
Brutal.
some of them count these really old expressions as core range when no one ever buys them.
Aha.
that could be true of all 3.
That's very true. I'm premium. Look at me. Right, get to. Right, I'll just press a number.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
Commit
ready.
and gentlemen in 3, 2, 1. We got a B, a C, and a C. Well, I told you there would be no donuts tonight. All 3 of these distilleries offer
called it.
5 whiskies.
Called it.
I love you, Menno. I love you, Menno. I'm 2 out of 3.
Well done.
End the quiz now, right? I'm happy with that.
What 5? What are the 5 Balblairs?
The
12, the 15, the 18, 21, and 25.
25.
Oh, I never thought the 25 would be considered. Oh, okay.
do you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. Like these old bottles are considered core range, but
Right, okay.
no one buys
Fair
them.
enough.
Cool. Thank you, Menno.
Okay,
Thank
okay. Question 4. Which of these distilleries operates with 5 stills? Is it A. Macduff, B. Mortlach, or C. There are no distilleries
Menno.
using 5 stills?
Menno.
And this is getting quite horrible.
Menno, do you ever do a double banana skin? Like one cancels out the other just to kind of make it even harder?
No.
As in that it's so easy that it seems like a banana skin.
Or just like for double trouble?
I'm not double bluffing you,
Okay.
but it is a banana skin.
5 stills.
Gregor's got a point. He's 1 for 3.
Nice one. Thank you, Greg. I know one. He's probably drinking his fucking stag for
I
£100
mean, this is a
By a-
guess. I actually don't know.
He's $100 stag.
and a half
Yeah.
pint glass.
That's probably at a bar.
$100 stag. I'm calling absolute rhubarb on that. Total rhubarb. Forget your
Right.
banana skin. That is
Okay.
utter rhubarb.
I've got
I'm
another.
locked
I've
in.
got another. Rhubarb's not a fruit, but I've got another. I've got sour grapes, Sevy, from all of us. Not only that he won tonight, that he's able to pick up a stag for $100. Right?
Right now, he's-
$100.
That's adding insult to injury.
Right now, he's wondering about his flat, right, with a t-shirt on, a muscle top, his shorts, pair of flip-flops, and he's drinking out a bottle with a straw.
He's
Right.
pouring it over Coke.
Yeah.
Ready?
3,
Okay.
2, 1. Answers, please. A B, and an A. Pains me to say, Roy, there won't be a 10 out of 10 for you tonight. It's Macduff.
3.
Fair
3.
enough.
I hate you, Menno. I hope we can still be friends, but I hate you, Menno.
3 out of 4.
I was
10 out of 10
so
again.
rooting for you.
So Gregor gets a point, and I don't.
Oh,
So Gregor and I, Gregor's monkey and me are now
3's a pass and I get Menno quiz right.
2 versus 3.
why not?
Nightmare.
I love that
Okay,
Gregor
on to
got
the-
that banana skin right, and he isn't even here.
Picture question
Oh, picture question.
Picture taken from the distillery website. But the question is,
Oh,
as the crow flies, who finds himself closest to this distillery? Is it A, Roy, Sevy, and Scotty in Glasgow? Is it B, Gregor in Oregon? Or is it C, me in Belgium?
You know, it looks like Cumbernauld. Hold on.
Well, it's no the Jackton distillery, that's for sure.
Cumbernauld. I'm confident of this one, Mr.
Really?
Menno.
I've no idea, man.
That has to be something Scandi. That looks Scandi.
Look at the sky. Look at the sky. We don't get sun over here, right? So it can't even near us. That's the only basis of my answer.
I think I know what this is.
I've never seen it before. But it looks like porter cabins on top of each other.
Yeah, there's no turrets. I'm going. Right, okay, hang on a second.
I'm good. I'm locked in.
I'm in.
Okay. 3, 2, 1. C. Which one do you think it is, Roy?
Armagnac.
Spot on. Well done.
Is it really? Oh my goodness. Okay.
But only about 100 kilometers or so, 60, 70 miles between Glasgow and where I'm sitting from, apparently.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Can I just say I'm 4 for 5 in a menu quiz? This has never happened before. This is history, right?
Me too, fella. Me too.
Flags for it to be Gregor. There would need to be a couple of American flags in there if it was Gregor.
Yeah, probably.
Some eagles perched on the top, that kind of thing.
That's it.
Okay, then question 6. Which of these companies owns 5 distilleries in Scotland?
I know it before it comes up.
Do you now?
Aye. D. Aye.
Is it A, William Grant? Is it B, Beam Centauri? Is it C, White Mackay? Or is it D, all of the above? There's a D.
Oh my goodness.
So I mentioned the letter D as a joke. It's a sign from above. Surely.
Roy, is this a situation where I know this, but then the answer didn't come up?
Yep.
I don't even know what that means.
Menno, is there a chance? You haven't specified malt distilleries, right?
I like the way you think, Roy.
Okay, good.
Oh, wow. I like
Devil's in the details.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay, I got you. I see what you're saying. Roy, I won't get it right, but I see what you've done there.
Can somebody tell me?
Sevy, man, I'm just going on a hunch and it's probably completely wrong.
Right, I'm going to go on a hunch as well, but like I don't think this is right. In fact, I'm not sure I've got enough letters.
Right, let's have it, Menno.
Okay, then 3, 2, 1. Just come in. That's a D, that's a B, and that's an A.
D.
D. Roy is back on track. It is all of the above.
Man.
William Grant owns Glenfiddich, Belvenny, Elsa Bay, Kininvie, and Girvan. Beam Centauri owns Auchentoshan, Bowmore, Lefroy, Ardmore, and Glengarry. White and McKay own Dalmore, Jura, Ferrocairn, Tamnavullen, and Invergordon. So I didn't indeed specify if it were malt or grain distilleries.
And do you know what? Can I just say, like, if I read the question, I was thinking, oh, Beam Centauri, because they've got Japanese distilleries. But it says Scotland clearly in the question.
Do you know, Scott, I was the same there, but then I thought, oh yeah, there's Scotland, and then I was like, yeah, it can't be D because we don't have a D. So I know that Grants do, so that'll do.
Oh,
Hence
good
the banana
question.
skin.
Good question.
To be fair, can I just mention, Menno, the boys all got it right.
Oh,
Aye. Give yourself a point.
You're right.
Any of the answers would have been correct.
You're both right. If you answered A or B or C, you're right.
That's a half point, surely, if anything.
No, take it. Take it.
Just saying, you're absolutely right. And I think everybody in the community, if they answered A, B, or C, they're right.
Because
which of these is the...
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay, question 7. Resurrecting distilleries seems to be en vogue these days. After Port Ellen, Brora, and Rosebank, it was recently announced that which other closed distillery will become operational again?
I know this one.
Would that be A, Dallas Dhu, B, Inverleven, or C, Colburn?
I'm locked in.
This is my Daft Mill question. I know it.
I'm locked right in.
I'm in.
There should be a wee dram face circle here.
Yep, there should be.
I'm in.
I'm in.
There
I'm
will
in
be
too.
another dram face emoji coming up shortly. Okay, then answers in 3, 2, 1. Dallas Do. Of course, it was Dallas Do. Well done, all three
Magic.
of you. It was actually pretty hard finding close down distilleries that still are
Locked down and
the
available.
building.
Yeah. A Draman from Gigi UK. Good to see you, Gigi. I hope you're doing very well. I hope your man's doing well as well. Have a grand holiday. And 50Z%. Oh my goodness, Gigi, I'm not picking up on that. But thank you very much for the dram. She's celebrating being a member for 39 months of the Barflies as well, saying loving the questions. Go Menno. yeah. I think
I'm rooting.
at least we're getting
Mike,
positivity from the lounge. Stephen Wilson has bought us a dram to say, Roy, enjoy a well-deserved break. To all Barflies, enjoy the rest of your summer. Aye. Amen to that, Stephen. Thank you, Gigi. Thank you, Stephen. Cheers to you all.
We've got Desi,
and Mike,
and
molasses are 7. Graham Fraser's for 7 for 7.
Graham Fraser, that's right.
Wow.
Still 7. That's pretty impressive.
I'm in 6. I'm past.
You're not in 6, Scotty. No chance.
Honestly.
Are you?
Question 8. Yep. You only need 5, or what the industry drinks, has been a returning team on the vPub, but who has so far not been on the vPub to share his Permashelf attention grabber, impress a guest, crowd pleaser, special occasion drams?
Okay.
Is it A, Conor McKenzie from Ardnamurchan? Is it B, Stuart Baxter from Inverhouse? Or is it C, Michael Henry from Loch Lomond?
Oh dear.
Wow.
That's
a bit tougher, possibly.
That's a tough one.
It's crazy. You watch the streams and then you watch them again and replay, and maybe watch them again, dip into them, and then this comes up. You think, hold on.
Are any of these? Can we ask? Are any of these 3 people in the chat just now and could answer this for it?
I'm locked in because
it can't be Connell. It's got Connell. It can't be Connell. Surely can't be Connell.
No, I don't think it's Connell.
I don't think it's
Connell. No, I think he's asking not been.
Yeah, who has not been on the vPub to do what the industry drinks?
Because Connell was on before when that Klein Leash came out, the Adelphi one.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm fairly confident that it's closer to home.
I'm fairly confident it's one of them.
Yeah. What's the D option here, Menno?
No D option.
No D.
Okay,
option.
3, 2, 1. C.
It's got to be Michael.
Absolutely correct. Well done.
Good stuff.
I was thinking of putting a banana skin next to that one because Michael Henry has been on several occasions.
Yep.
I think, so, but not for this series.
No, not for these topics. Absolutely.
Great question.
Good stuff.
Okay, then the second to last question. Recently, Tomatin announced they're launching the Anti-Carry brand. Which of these statements about the relaunch is true?
Wow.
A, the range consists of a 15, a 21, and a 30-year-old. B, they are all released at 40% ABV. Or C, the price range varies from 45 to 275 pounds.
I'm locked in. I would just say that I once bought the Antiquary 35-year-old, which cost me about 220 quid back in the day, and it was a beautiful whiskey.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Many years ago. I think
this could be they're all right.
Are they all? Are they not?
I feel the same, Sevy, but he's not giving us a D.
Are they not all finished in a wine cask or something?
They're all some sort of wine.
Yeah.
Or the 15-year-old.
I'm not trying to help anyone else, but I would have to plump for B if I was guessing.
Okay, then commit in 3, 2, 1. A, B, A. Well, all 3
they are all right.
Are correct. Well,
you called it, didn't you?
Yep.
Brilliant.
They look the work, so. I know Gregor's not here, but I think he would like this presentation.
The 12-year-old was good. The old 12-year-old was good. And 21 as well.
Do you not think they look like a cross between the Kuboken and the Speyburn.
Yeah, we went
I
Speyburn.
see where you're coming from there. Yeah, especially with the purples.
And the other
Yeah,
colouring, yeah.
Can I just say before we go into the ass hat at the end, if we give Gregor the closed distillery one, no, what was the one that all of them were right?
Yeah, no, all of them.
It was the 5 distilleries.
Five distilleries.
Who owns 5 distilleries? That's right. So it wasn't question 5, was it? It was question 6.
Yeah, I think it was 6.
If we give Gregor that, he's on 4 out of 9 so far. And the ass hat, he's answering B. That could get him a pass mark in absenta.
Nice one. We've still got Graham Fraser and Molasses on 9. What's Desi on? I can't see
I'm
Desi.
rooting for you.
I'm an 8 right now, guys. I'm an 8.
Desi's on 9 too. 3 people going for a 10 out of 10.
Good luck, guys.
I'm on 8 with you, Scotty, as well. 8 out of, let's see what the ass hat brings us.
Here comes Menno to derail the whole thing.
7 for me out of 9. 7 out of 9.
Well,
Good.
Strong.
I did apologize in advance to you, Roy. Didn't I?
It's an ass hat. You have to ass hat, don't you?
Okay, here we go.
Okay. And it's
Can I just compliment the fact you've managed to line up the backdrop perfectly? That's just
yeah. It took hours and hours of work to get it right.
It did. Go ahead, bud.
Okay. On a sunny day, so it's purely fictional, the Bottlechasers meet up at Roy's and start walking up the A9 while listening to all the Dramface podcasts.
Oh, Menno.
When they reach Perth, they stop for a 1-hour lunch break as they have to make a decision on where to next. If they choose wisely, a distillery is quite near for a well-deserved dram when the closing music of the latest podcast fades out. Where could they end up after listening to all Dramface podcast episodes consecutively?
It's the greatest question ever asked. This should be put in a gold disc and sent into space. Right.
So, in other words, which distillery is within podcast walking range from Glasgow? Is it A, Blair Atoll? Is it B, Glencadam? Or is it C, Royal Lochnagar?
That's crazy stuff, man.
Right. We're not talking about what we can walk to. What we're talking about is how many hours of Dramface podcast have been released versus where that would take you to if you were listening to it and walking, right?
Yep.
Did anyone else, are their eyes too sore to read what was actually on there?
It's the greatest question. I want someone to ask Gareth Southgate this question after the Euros.
Okay, I'll help you. I'll help you out. The total.
No need.
No.
Okay.
No. The main question, though, Menno, is: can you buy a floor focaccia on your way?
There is a tremendous story that if I'm ever asked to relay the story, I will share the story.
The greatest question ever asked, and that's the greatest story ever told. That's a fact.
The floor.
Do you know the sad thing is I don't know where all 3 of these places are.
Sevi,
because you only go to Campbelltown.
Sevi, they're in Scotland. Right. They're in Scotland. They're good.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Scotty. That's a massive help.
I'm going for it.
I'm locked in.
For it as well. Boom.
I'm locked in.
Okay. A, C, and Roy, where are you at?
Blair Atholl's only about 3 hours away, pal.
I know.
Okay.
Enzo, how you traveling?
The 28 podcasts so far would last you some 37 hours and 40 minutes or thereabout. Blair Atoll is a pitiful 80 miles away. Royal Lochnagar is well over 100 miles away. But Glencadam is 90-something miles away. And that's exactly where you could end up.
Okay, interesting. What a crazy... Menno, how long did it take you to work that question out? A couple of days? A week?
No, I was thinking a good hour or so, probably.
Wow, that's amazing, mate.
I don't know what I'm most disappointed about. Either that I got that wrong and I'm on an 8 out of 10 again, or that Gregor got it right and he got a pass mark and I'm upset.
What distillery did you go for, Roy? What did you go for?
I went for Royal Lochnagar up in space.
I
Eastern Highland.
Well, I get an
Donnerpath Whiskey is saying any bottles in Spain for another recycled review. Unfortunately, not this time, Tim. I'm going to try and work on something else instead. And Cheng has just signed up for that Aquavite Barflies. Cheng, thank you for your support. And Donnerpath Whiskey, Tim, thank you for your generous dram. Cheers.
There's a map as well. That's amazing.
Yep,
Menno.
that's from Google Maps.
I love that there's a map.
That's brilliant. Thank you, Menno. That was amazing.
We wouldn't have doubted you. We wouldn't have doubted you. That's quite shocking. Quite shocking. How are we doing in here? Pure guest, 10 out of 10 for Graham Fraser. Congratulations, Graham. Amazing,
Graham.
amazing
Brilliant
stuff. I would like to consider that I'm able to get through the last couple of minutes of the vPub. And thank you all for joining us tonight. But I suspect with the back teeth floating, eyes watering, and discomfort quickening, I might need to wind things up quite quickly. But listen, I'm going to raise a glass to you guys just for being great sports, for being magical in your patience, magical in your wisdom, and even more magical in your banter. Especially you, Menno, sitting in the background watching along, staying up later. You're an hour ahead of us and you bring these things. You know you're going to get abuse from the crowd. You know you're going to get it every time. And that's why I'm a wee bit annoyed at you, honestly. Another 8 out of 10. That was my best effort. Total focus, but it is what it is. Graham Fraser managed did Desi get her?
I didn't see that. I didn't see, but I saw Graham got 10. I get 8.
Yeah.
I think it's the highest. I've never had an 8 out of 10 in a Menno quiz before. So
That's a
I'm quite
brilliant
happy.
Also,
Yeah,
clearly,
I
let's just say Menno clearly hasn't been stuck behind a caravan on the A9 because we wouldn't have got to
You
Glen
see,
Canada at that
right.
point.
But it's walking. It's walking. We wouldn't
see,
need to. It
did
would be
you
in
see-
some field somewhere.
Did you see Gregor's in the chat? He just says, "Have it!"
Have it.
Exclamation mark.
Well, we've got to love the swagger from the man, right? He's good at some things, and that's one of them. Have it.
Absolutely.
He
Well
gets
done.
a pass mark. His monkey is standing, gets him a pass mark when he's not even here.
Well
Amazing.
done, Gregor, man.
Right, I'm going to raise a wee glass to Menno, the
Thank you, Menno.
hero from Belgium,
Cheers,
for coming
guys.
in and giving us these pleasures. Long may it continue, buddy. Thank you for everything that you've done and supporting us. Scotty
Thank you,
Monroe, fantastic, my friend. There'll be no cheese tonight. It's well beyond midnight. Maybe a wee peanut butter and chocolate snack to see you off to your
That
sleep.
sounds more like it. Thank you. Thank you very much, Roy.
Sevi, I know you're a bit younger than all of us. I hope you picked up on the thing. If you can find them, maybe you can hire the Alchemist quip when I welcomed you in tonight. But it's been brilliant having you tonight. Now that you've got a laptop, now that you're in the technological age, maybe you might appear on a future Dramface podcast. You never know. Fantastic. Thank you all.
It is the dream. It is the dream.
It is the dream. It's the dream for us as well. If you can wait around after the credits roll, I'll be here to have a wee word with you later to say cheerio. But in the meantime, Menno, thank you, you superstar. Slanchidava, have a great summer. Scotty Monroe, the gentleman, thank you so much, buddy. I'll see you soon. Have a great summer. And Sevi, riding shotgun as you always do, my friend. Big hugs to you. A great summer and the best of luck to you know what for September 4th. Cheers,
Thank
big
you,
guy.
Roy.
And with that last sip of that gorgeous Ardnamurchan Golden Promise, with everything, all of you guys, for another season of the vPub, it's been fabulous. Everything is strong here. The attendance, everybody turns up. And even when it's hours and hours and hours into the end, and it's a quiz at the end, you're still here hanging out. It's great fun. It's just a fantastic way for me to spend a Thursday night. The fact that all of you are willing to turn up and spend a Thursday night with us, whatever we talk about, whatever I talk about, is so encouraging. I love whiskey. I love everything that it brings. I'm kind of looking forward to having a break, but of course I'm going to miss it. But I love looking forward to coming back on the 22nd of August to raise another glass with you on another Thursday night to celebrate whiskey and everything that brings us. And until then, I'll raise this glass and remind you all that you're very dearly loved. I'll thank you for another fantastic season and look forward to seeing you all in August. And until then, beautiful whiskey folk, dedicated barflies, have a great summer. Thank you. Slanchava.